All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April meeting, Town Zoning Board of Appeals. Board members' names are in front of you on the dais. New zoning inspector coming on board, Mr. Spadaro, Mike Carnazza, code enforcement officer, and Greg Fulchetti is town council with us this evening. The way we operate is we will ask you to come up. I'll swear you in. We'll hear your case. The board will ask questions and make comments. We will open it up to the public afterwards. If it looks like we have a big crowd, I don't know for which case, but we're going to limit it to like 2 minutes each. And if it's redundant, we're going to cut it short. So let's keep it to the point. New facts, if you will. So once we have the hearing, we will close the public hearing, and there'll be no further input. When we complete the night's we will adjudicate at the end of the evening, and there will be no further input on any case once it's closed. So keep that in mind. If you do come up from the public, please put your name, address, and contact information on that piece of paper that's on the lectern, and we'll try to get through this evening. So all please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, one quick note. After we adjudicate, you can stick around for the results, or you can call the town hall tomorrow. I don't know if Dawn will be in, but you can check with Mike's office and all that tomorrow. Or you can watch it on TV. Yep, channels 24 on Verizon and 95 on Comcast. I'm going to ask everyone to please speak. When they come up and speak clearly and distinctly into the microphones. This is being recorded for minutes, so it's very critical that we hear clearly for the person who's deciphering the notes. All right? One other quick note is application number 7 and 8 this evening for Mainsella. They've asked to be put at the end of the agenda because I guess their representative is at another meeting in another town. So if you're here for that case, just keep that in mind. All right, our first case this evening is Mercado. All right, for a variation of 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to retain pergola. The property is located at 9 Tyler Court, Mahopac, and it's tax map 64.10-1-23. So the code requires or allows 20 feet. What's provided is 11.3, and a variance of 8.7 feet is being sought. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Thomas Mercado, 9 Tyler Court, Mahopac, New York.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, bring us through your situation.
Okay. So what we're proposing here for a variance, as you stated, 8.7 feet of variance. It's a pergola that was constructed in May of 2010. We constructed it. What I did is I included, which was submitted to the board as well, what the pergola looks like in the summer months as well as the winter months. The entire property is lined with white pines, so basically it's green all season long. I also submitted, I have basically Google Earth plans of all my neighbors around the property, which I'll go through as well, showing what kind of sighting they would view from their location and if this can be seen. I don't know if I could reach that.
You can take the mic off the stand, too. If
Oh, I can? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So basically what we have is, this is the pergola that was built. It's an open pergola. There's a pool adjacent to it. You could see these are in the summer months. We have white pines that line the entire property. The previous neighbor and I, when they were living there, we split the pines all the way across on the property line. There's a stone wall which exists right over here, and behind this stone wall there's also, I believe my neighbor, my new neighbor, also put some type of wood fencing there as well. These are in the winter months. I actually took these this winter which looks like the end joint. So these particular represent what it looks like in the winter, as well as over here. And in addition to that, I have some Google Earth maps that show this being my property right over here, the pergola right here, which is marked right over here,
Yep.
and then the views from my neighbor across the street from me, which is very, very far distance. I basically can't see from the front, and these are the neighbors on Hill Street. I also have another view, which is Tyler Court right over here, and I have the pergola, which is circled right over here. And you could see the white pines that are lined from here all the way across, and then this is all trees to Hill Street.
Okay.
It's pretty heavily treed, and this is what you could see. It's not that I'm blocking any views as far as a view of a lake or any view is a view of my house, really.
Gotcha.
So this particular home right behind me would look through into my kitchen. This particular home over here would look, Hill Street is very far from it.
All right, so obviously, there's no other property you can purchase to bring it into conformance. You're landlocked there, but by lands owned by your adjacent neighbors, right? So,
Yes.
how long has it been there, the pergola?
May of 2010 it was constructed, and we've
no
owned the
one's-
house for 23
No one's
years.
ever complained about it. And how'd it come up? Just I think you're selling the house, right?
Yes, we
Okay.
are.
So that's why this came up.
Yes.
I guess you didn't realize you needed a permit back then. for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, board members, any questions or comments?
No comments. That looks nice.
No questions.
No questions.
Good. All right, I'll open it up to the public. Anybody wish to be heard on this application this evening? Okay. It's a beautiful pergola, the wall, stone wall. I commend you on the architecture. It matches the house beautifully, so,
Thank
you know,
you.
it's very well lined with evergreen trees, so I don't think anyone, if they're here, if they're gonna complain about it, they'd be here, so,
Okay.
I think you're okay.
We've never had anyone come to us and explain. This actually has been there, only one of my neighbors lived through it, I guess you could say. The other two neighbors are newer neighbors
Yeah, okay.
throughout this, so, but we've never had any comments or complaints on it.
All right, good. All right, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing on this application. Do I have a second? All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, application number 2, Allison Boak, for a variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to build a deck on the front of the house. Property is located at 45 Sycamore Road, Mahopac. It's tax map 76.5-1-10. The code requires or allows 25 feet for the front. What's provided is 22.4, or is being sought, and a variance needed of 2.8 inches. And that's that, okay. Good evening. You all going to be speaking?
Yes.
All right. State your names and address for the record.
My
One at a
name is
time.
Allison Boak, 45 Sycamore Road, Mahopac, New York.
Sir?
Jonah Maddock, 45 Sycamore Drive, Mahopac, New York.
Anthony Verino, 50 Sycamore Road.
You could use the other mic, too.
Oh.
But they're both mic'd up, so.
That's easier.
We like to share.
Raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right. Bring us through your case.
So we're requesting permission to build a deck on the front. When we bought the property, it was overgrown to the second floor, and the neighbors were complaining how horrible it looks, so we want to put a pretty white deck on the front with a row of hydrangeas. It'll blend in with the character of the house and the character of the neighborhood. We have a letter of support from our neighbor directly across the way that's most impacted by the deck, and we think it'll be an overall improvement to the property and to the neighborhood.
And these folks are on which side?
The lakeside directly across from us.
Across the street, okay.
Yeah, so they'll be the one to see the deck because they're directly across from us. Yeah.
And I understand why. I mean, you want to capture the view of the lake, so it's really usually uncommon to have a deck in the front of the house like that, but in this
Yeah.
case, I
We're
see
going to make
where
it look like a
it's
front porch. We have
utilized.
Anthony here has done a beautiful rendering to show what it will look like.
Oh, that would be great. You want to submit that?
Please.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
that? That's a wire
Yeah, they're
railing?
just doing a cable railing
Yeah,
system,
cable railing.
and then the 4 feet that it's off the ground. Oh, sorry. Okay. The 4 feet that it's off the ground, Jonah has a landscaping business. He's going to plant a row of hydrangeas. Yep. Yeah, guys, the problem being is that when I took the measurements in the beginning, I measured all the way down to the road. So he has 12 feet from the road into the property that he doesn't own.
The right of way.
Yeah, so when the survey came out, I realized that they were 2.5 feet short from the setback, and that's what this is all about. All right?
Sounds good. Thank you. All right, I'll ask the same question. There's no property you can buy, right? You're pretty much landlocked. You're up against the road anyway, so it wouldn't help that situation.
That's correct.
You spoke to all the neighbors on every side? No issues if somebody?
I spoke to the neighbors on the left side, showed them the drawing. They were fine with it. The neighbor across the street, and I did not speak with the neighbor on the right. I don't know them yet. We haven't moved in officially.
Okay. And you guys are renovating the whole house? It looked like it
Yes.
was under total construction, so. All right, board members, any questions or comments?
Looks good. Good luck. Nope.
Guys down here, everybody good? Anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Submit this for the record.
No, we just put it in the folder, Chuck?
No, that's what this folder's for.
Okay.
This way, Dawn sees it and
Gotcha.
splits it out. All right, application number 3, Matthew Simone, for variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to retain garage addition. The property is located at 20 Red Brook Road, Mahopac, it's tax map 74.12-1-18. The code requires or allows 15 feet to the side. What's provided is 3 feet, so a variance of 12 feet is being sought. Good evening.
Good evening.
Just speak into the
Yep, good
microphone.
evening.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Matthew Simon, 20 Red Brook Road, Mahopac.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. So, I got my numbers mixed up here, sorry. All right, so the garage is built and existing.
Yep.
How long has it been there?
Since November 2024.
And you didn't know you needed a permit?
No, I'm 29 years old. I bought a house when I was 24. I thought you could just kind of
Okay.
Build what you want.
Lessons learned, right?
lesson learned, yeah.
What's, you're connected to an existing garage, right?
Correct.
What is the use inside that? Because I saw an HVAC unit.
It's for my personal cars, climate controlled.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for, what do you have, a car collector or something?
Yeah, I have 4 of my personal cars, and I have jet skis, quads, so,
And they're all in that space?
yes.
Okay. We're just want to be concerned, there's no running water or any there, or electricity?
no
is there?
running water.
Bathrooms or anything?
Nope.
Again, I'll ask the question here, there's no property you can buy to bring this into conformance? You're pretty much close to the back of the property line.
I wanted to build it on the other side. You probably see the survey in front of you.
Yeah.
But it would have required a lot of backfill, retaining walls,
Yeah,
stuff
it
like
drops
that.
down, I was out there the
Yeah,
other
it's
night.
a slope, so it would have costed a lot more money, been a lot more work. I probably wouldn't have needed a variance, to my understanding now, but it just wouldn't have made sense.
No, you probably would have still needed one because if you're keeping it on that same line.
Yeah, I'm honestly not too sure.
All right. I have the same questions here, too. You talk to your neighbors?
Yeah, I
Especially behind you?
honestly wanted to, once it went up, all my neighbors told me it was beautiful, so no problems.
Okay. How long has the other garage been there for that's tied into?
That I bought the house with, I'm not exactly sure how long it's actually been there.
Okay. How long have you owned the house?
Since April 2021.
Okay. It looks like it's one side of it's like pretty old.
Yeah, so
Some,
yeah, the garage is
vegetation growth
probably
on it.
original to the house.
Okay. All right, board members, any questions? We'll start down here. Will?
No questions.
No questions.
You guys good down here? All right, anybody in the public wish to be heard or speak on this application? Okay, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, have a good night.
You too. Hey, what's my agenda? All right, application number 4, Neil McMahon, for variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to retain existing shed. Property is located at 179 Austin Road, Mahopac, and it's tax map 64.17-1-9. The code requires or allows 10 feet, and that's to the side. What's provided is .3 feet, and a variance needed of 9.7 feet. Good evening, folks.
Good
Both
evening.
gonna be
How are you?
speaking. All right, state your names and address for the record.
Name is Neil McMahon, 179 Austin Road, Mahopac, New York.
Jacqueline McMahon, 179
You
Austin.
can turn the mic down to your mouth. There you go.
Jacqueline McMahon, 179 Austin Road, Mahopac, New York.
All right, raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, you don't need to fill that out. That's only for anybody in the public that
Oh,
wishes to be
okay.
heard. We already have your information, so. All right, I was out there the other night, and the shed's been there quite a while, but then you had to repair it, right?
Yep. And little did I know, when we were selling the house, it would come up in question, so.
So how long was it there, the original one?
The original was there since 1978.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
So if anyone had an issue with it, it would have been brought up a lot sooner.
Well, yeah.
But you didn't know you needed a permit or a variance at the time.
Well, yeah, once we get, I guess the way it goes, you get the variance first and then the permit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have 4 letters from our...
We got 4 supporting letters for the neighbors, so.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. No worries. Michael Weiss in support. Doesn't give an address here.
21 Austin.
No, that's the date.
Oh,
Oh,
211.
211 Austin Road, okay.
Remind us.
And this is from Sharon Bell, and she is at 188 Austin Road. Tracy Perez from 192 Austin Road in support. All right, and then Annette Simmons. She does no. She doesn't get, oh, she's at 180 Austin Road. Okay, just, we'll submit that for the record. There's no other property you can buy to bring this into conformance. Obviously, you're landlocked over there on that side. But being there the other night, the nearest house, I don't know if you all saw it, it was like 70, 80 feet away. So it's kind of well wooded and screened. So I have no problem with this. It's basically been renovated. It's a brand-new looking shed.
Looks
so,
good.
Any questions or comments from the board members? Good over here? You guys are good? All right, anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Have a good night.
All right, moving right along. Application number 5, Savarese Family Trust for a variation of 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to retain existing gazebo, which is set back 9 inches from the side property line. The property is located at 15 Woodbine Drive, Mahopac, and it's tax map 76.18-1-1. So the code requires or allows 20 feet to the side. What's provided is 9 inches. So a variance of 19 feet, 3 inches is required. All right, good evening.
Good evening.
State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Ralph Savarese. I live at 15 Woodbine Drive.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, I'll ask the same questions. How long has this been here?
I assembled it in 2019 to provide some shade down at the pool area. It's a store-bought gazebo I bought from BJ's.
So like a kit, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And there's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance?
No,
Yeah,
right
you-
next door is my neighbor's property.
Yeah, it's on that side. I was out there the other night as well. It's pretty meticulous, nice property, and well-kept. There's a shed
I
on
bet you
that
had
same...
I bet you had a hard time seeing it, the gazebo.
Yeah, I could, well, you're pretty fenced off
Yeah.
from both sides. Actually, it's just peering over the
It's
top of the
fe-
fence, which is, I
exactly.
think, a 6-foot fence anyway.
Yeah,
On
I
that
think
side.
there might be like 4 or 5 houses in the area that could even see it.
Okay, yeah, and we did receive a letter of support from William Galley
Yeah.
from 11 Woodbine Drive.
And another from my neighbor Mike Daly. Those
Yeah.
are my 2 next-door neighbors.
Mike Daly.
Yeah.
Mike Daly, yep. Okay, so that helps your case.
I've also provided a survey to show you where it's located, provided an aerial view from Google as well as some pictures of the gazebo and some drawings as to how it's built.
And I guess that shed, right, was granted back in 93.
Yeah, 93, yes.
So it's kind of in line with the shed along the property line.
Yes.
It's hidden by the fence. I think you really just see the top of the roof, but like you said, it's providing good shade for a pool area.
I mean, there's virtually no other place to put this on the property because it's for shade within the pool area, and it's 10 foot by 12. That's the only place on the pool decking that's 10 feet. Everything else is less.
Yeah, so it doesn't end up in the pool itself, right?
Yeah, and if
So-
I try to put it on the other side, it would be over my septic, and there's also a drop-off in the property,
Yeah,
so...
that's right. Goes towards the
Yeah.
pond back there. Okay. All right, board members on this one, any questions or comments?
No questions.
You guys
No,
good
it's
down
well
here?
screened with the fence.
All right, any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Have a good
Have a
evening.
good night. Application number 6, Anthony G. Portillo, for a variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to retain an arbor that was constructed on the property. The property is located at 305 Daisy Lane, Carmel, New York, and it's tax map 77.15-1-10. All right, the code requires or allows 25 feet to the side. There's 2 feet provided, and a variance of 23 feet is being sought. Good evening. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Anthony Portillo. I live at 305 Daisy Lane, Carmel, New York.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so
I do.
help you God.
I do.
All right, bring us through the situation. How long has the pergola been there, or the
It's-
arbor?
Well, actually, it's before the winter. I put it up, and the reason I put it up, I want to take my wife out and have lunch under there, and
Just speak up for the mic, because it's being recorded.
yeah, I want to take my wife out in the wheelchair and have lunch under there,
Yeah, she's
you know.
handicapped, right?
Yeah.
You said, okay,
and
there we go.
that's why we built it. And I have a letter from my neighbor next door, which is, she's not objecting to anything.
All right, you
And
want
I
to submit
couldn't
that?
get the one on
first?
the other side because he's in Florida, Pilata.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. So same questions here. There's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance? No property next door to that side? In other words, you can't buy another 20 feet to make this thing work, right?
No.
This is Diane Burns
Yes,
at 315 Daisy Lane.
right, she's the adjacent property. It's actually facing the wooded area on her part,
Okay.
you know.
All right, and she has no objection?
No.
We'll submit this to the record, for the record. All right. You did it yourself, right? You're in the construction business?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, it looked like it was decent construction. It's pitched back for the shedding the water, so I don't know if anyone got a chance to get out there and look at it.
it's all pitched back.
Looks like it's solid, but, and there's a fence on that right side, I believe, as well, that helps
Yes,
screen it, so.
it's all lattice on that side.
All right, any questions from the board on this one?
Well, I have a lot of questions, but not for him.
All right, that's good. Anybody in the public wish to speak on this application or be heard? All right, well, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Ooh,
Second by?
I'll take it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Guy.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. All right, we're holding over 7 and 8 till the end of the meeting. We'll skip over to.
Unless they're here. Did they get here? Because they saw somebody walk in.
Meinsella, Manuel? All right, well, we stated we were gonna go put them to last, so. Application number 9, Entranceway Partners LLC for interpretation whether to create a building lot compliance with subdivision map, or it requires planning board approval for a new subdivision, 156-6C1A3. The property is located at 14 Entranceway, Mahopac, and is tax map 74.43-1-12. So the code requires or allows 2 tax lots, and what's provided is 2 and 3 tax lots. So a variance required none, but looking for an interpretation here. Who's representing? Anybody?
No one's here. Interesting.
All right,
Is it Willie?
Is this you?
I don't know. Willie, is this you?
The one on Entranceway?
Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot quicker than I anticipated.
Hello.
How you doing, everybody?
Hello, you.
I wonder if you're gonna show up, Willie.
Usually I'm like pushed towards the end because Willie's not here. How are you doing tonight? I'm William Besherat, representing the owners.
All right. Did you state your address? I'm sorry.
266 Shearhill Road, Mahopac.
All right, and sir, you are?
Anthony Perricone, 79.
Just speak to
Anthony
the mic.
Perricone, 79 Crayscott Way.
All right, raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Just turn the mics to your mouths, guys. If you're both gonna be.
We'll figure it out. I'm loud enough, I don't need it anyway.
Yeah, you're loud.
How are you doing tonight?
Good.
I see some faces I haven't seen in a while.
All right.
We are here really for an interpretation versus a variance. This is a piece of property in Secor area that's part of an approved subdivision back in the 30s, and in the subdivision approval, and I highlighted on the maps that I submitted for everybody the section where it says you allowed to build, as it was approved probably by the planning board, that you're allowed to build a house on 2 tax lots. And in Lake Secor, as a matter of fact, there are a couple of them that I have worked on that's only 1 tax lot. But the majority of them are 50% 2 and 50% 3 lots. In this situation, the people want to sell 3 lots and keep the house on 2 lots, which will make them in conformity with the existing approval of the subdivision. And by the way, the subdivision, when it was approved, was tax and sewer and, septic and well. And now we have, thank God, sewer and water there. With that said, we need your help, because there is no separate deeds, and this is not a subdivision that we have to go through. It's already been subdivided, it's already been approved by the planning board and filed by in the county of Putnam regarding this. And what we're looking for is just to create a deed for those 3 lots to build a house on it that will be in total conformity with the town code without needing any
So
further
it's
variances.
4 individual lots.
No, there's 5 individual
5,
lots now.
okay.
The house is going to be on 2, the existing house, and the vacant land will be 3 lots to build a house on.
Well, why are we here for this? Shouldn't this go to planning?
We're here for interpretation from you. I don't think we need to go to the planning board. I don't know what Craig will say about it.
Well, Mike, this is an existing approved subdivision, correct?
It is.
From
Yeah.
many, many moons ago,
1930.
30-something, 30?
right? So,
30. Signed in 39, I believe.
in the purview of this board, we usually judge on whether it's out of character, which it's not. Every lot in that development is
This is just an interpretation.
As small
so
as
you
it
don't
is,
get into the
yeah.
factors.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
We need the package because it's,
No, I'm just saying, it's typically what we think about, right, as a board?
Yeah.
When we look at things, so,
We were just discussing this, though. If he does get it here to create the lot, it would probably have to go to planning with whatever that little thing is you drew here to go in there and
Well,
memorialize it so
that's the
that it
next
can be a
step. So I
filed
guess
map. That would be next step, just so you guys are aware.
To planning board.
If this does happen here, it still has to go through a planning process.
Yeah, I'd have to go to planning one way or the
If
other,
it works,
right?
again, that's up
Yeah.
to the board, they have to see if they feel that way, but it would
Yeah.
have to be memorialized and then filed, and then becomes a lot through the county, correct?
Correct, then you'd be creating the second lot with the 3 strip lots in it. You have the 2 that already have the dwelling on it, which, the way the subdivision map reads, the 2 lots, 2 strip lots will make a building lot.
Right.
So he's not asking for anything that's non-conforming with respect to the subdivision.
Right.
Somewhere it's gotta be memorialized if now this becomes 2 lots. I don't know if that's a minor subdivision, to me, it's probably not a lot line change, but I don't know if you could do it that way. You
You'd
might
have
be
to
able
read
to.
the code, read
Yeah.
the state law
But
and
I-
see what it says.
Starting here is the right place, and I
Yeah.
think.
Is it? Okay.
I think it is, okay, because the planning board would do it here anyway, right, if they got it.
If they go to planning first, they would be here for variances for
Yeah.
3-acre lots.
Yeah.
It's not a 3-acre zone. Nobody has 3 acres there, so
No,
there's no,
it's
they
not.
have
No,
sewer,
it's
they have water,
impossible.
so that's a good thing.
Right.
The whole
That's-
Lake Secor area is 3 acres.
And the
It is.
variance
Now
already
it's the
exists,
LDR zone, so
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
and the way the house is set up on the lot line, Mike, the variance is already there? The house against the lot line?
The existing house.
The existing house is all legal.
It's all legal.
The
That's-
new,
that was my
if they
question.
did a new house, they would go by the code, this code, which is the 1930s code. That's the first code we have, so that's been an interpretation in the past to use that code if they did get the approvals.
Gotcha.
So they can't use the bulk requirement because one of them is 0, and you can't build a house 0.
Right.
Unless you build it out of non-combustible materials, and you're not gonna build a stone house, I assume.
No.
So we'd
We're
have to
not
meet the
doing
setbacks
He'll
for
huff and he'll puff, but,
Why not?
all right. Water sewer, right? Keep that in mind,
Yes.
obviously, so. Any questions from the board on this? Looks good.
No,
You guys good on this side?
yeah.
Would the new house need extensive variances?
It will need 0 variances.
Because it's going to.
Because they go by
From the
the law from
1930
the
standard.
The old code?
Exactly, we'll follow the old code, we'll be in compliance with the old code without going for any variances.
I mean, it may need variances, I shouldn't say no, but they can design it so it doesn't.
Exactly.
If
like
they
when-
over-designed it, it would need variances, but if they do the right thing and build the right house, they can do it without variances.
Well, you want to
Exactly.
keep within character of the neighborhood.
We'll, exactly, we'll
You
do
don't
it
wanna- Right.
in compliance without a need for any variances.
So fair warning, design it right.
Yeah. I wouldn't bring it for a variance, I had no
All right,
height.
does anybody in the public wish to be heard or speak on this application? Sir, you raised your hand first.
In the back?
State your name and address for the record, and when you do leave, just make sure you put your name, address, and contact info on the page there.
Yes, my name is Pat Esposito. I live at 15 Entrance Way, which is right across the lot in question,
All right, raise your right hand. Oh, what's your address? I'm sorry.
15 Entrance Way.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
I'm just kind of curious what the intentions are for that lot. I mean, Secor's crowded, the streets are not that big. I mean, is it really room for another house in that lot?
If you look at the subdivision map,
I don't have a copy of that map.
actually, we have one handy.
You can really see the
not that-
layout of the whole neighborhood here.
Yeah, it's highlighted there in the yellow.
You know, it's,
So there's 5 lots there.
yeah, there's
Yep.
5 lots.
Grab the mic.
But
so
only
that way
2
you can-
houses.
Yeah, just go,
Yeah, speak
go
into
grab one of the
There's one-
microphones, or you can bring that page back to the podium.
There's one now, and they're gonna build one, correct?
Yes.
Say that again?
There's one that
One now.
exists, and they're gonna build one other house.
Correct, one house.
And where's this house going to be?
Just address us, please,
Look
sir.
at the house in front
Talk
of
to
you.
Willie, Willie,
Right now.
guys,
You're not supposed to
guys,
answer.
you have to address the board, please.
sorry.
Willie, go, just sit to the side.
Okay. No, I live right across the street, so I see from my
Right,
living room window, right across the street into that lot. So I'm concerned of where this house is going to be, or how big is it going to be, or,
Well, you just heard, it's going to be designed to stay within, most likely within the constraints of that area, right? Otherwise, they're going to have to come back to us with a variance, and I kind of just gave a fair warning to these guys as they design it. Keep it, within the limits.
how how big does he plan to big?
Probably not out of character of what's there now, right? What are the side setbacks in that area?
It says 8 and 0, I think is what the book said. We looked it up. It can't do
So-
0, because it's not going to be non-combustible construction, so they're going to have to be, I think it's 10 on both sides is what we've always used. So 10 feet from each property line on the side, and I think they do 20 on the front and 15 on the back,
Okay.
Right.
And
minimum. That's including the deck and the porches and everything else has to be outside that envelope.
is it going to be one-family house? or
Yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
One-family house?
Can't be
One bedroom,
two-family.
two bedrooms?
It depends on the
Nobody
size of the house.
knows.
They could probably get away with 3 bedrooms, but they might be small bedrooms, so you gotta work
Yeah, I
within what
just,
the palette that you have, like Picasso.
Yeah, because like I said, I live right across the street, and I'm a little concerned about what's going to go up there, you know?
I can pretty much guarantee it's not gonna be any different than the typical houses in that neighborhood.
Okay.
And if they do go outside the confines, they have to come back here, and we'll,
So they have to come back for another zoning?
if they
board?
design it to be outside the envelope, the buildable envelope, which is what this board is purview is, to make
Yeah,
sure people
yeah.
can stay within what's a buildable envelope.
So he has 5 lots on that one property?
One is existing with the house on it already,
Right.
and then the other 3 will become one other single
How big
family.
are those lots? I mean, are they big enough to build on? I mean, I don't know.
Indicative of that neighborhood, yes.
Yeah.
You only need 2. That's all you need for that neighborhood.
Only 2 what?
2 lots. There's 3
Two
lots
individual
out
building
there.
lots.
And each lot is how big?
I don't know
It should be saying on there.
exact dimensions there.
Approximately 20 by,
So how big a lot do you need to build on
You
a
need 2 of
house
those.
on? You need 2?
usually 100, right?
So he's got 5, 2 lots on the existing house?
Correct.
2
Looking
lots
to
in the
build?
existing house, and then
There's 3 empty
is
lots.
3 empty lots.
That,
And he wants to build on 2 of them?
He wants to build on the.
on
On
3 of
3
them.
lots.
There's 3 lots?
3 lots.
Wow. How
One
big is the
house.
lots?
About 20 by 100 each.
20 by
Square
100.
feet.
About, one's 18, one's,
How big? I'm sorry?
one is 20 by 100, one's a little bit longer, because it's on a bend a little bit,
Yeah.
not a turn, but a bend, so it gets a little bit longer. It doesn't have the number on it, but the longest side is 117, so it goes from 100 to 117 by 60, and by 45 and 15, 61 and a half in the
So
front.
it's 60 feet wide
Correct.
and up to 117 feet deep. Yeah.
On the left side, 117, on the right side,
Right.
standing in the street, 100 feet.
Right.
All right?
Okay, that was my concern.
All right, we have other people that need to be here as well, so just put your name, address, and contact information on that piece of
Did
paper.
I keep that, Matt?
The map?
That one came from me.
Yeah, do you mind giving it up, John?
Yeah, that's fine. You can, yeah, you can have it.
If not, I'll give you mine.
Christmas came early.
All right, so you guys over there had someone wanted to be heard as well.
Yeah, they're behind.
Person? Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Fernanda Villalobos, and I live at 23 Ivy Hill Road, which is right,
Are you guys together?
he's my neighbor.
Okay, well, I'm going to take one person at a time, so, sir, let her go first.
So
Raise
my-
your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, thank you.
So, good evening. My concern is, will they, so the house that's there now, is that in 1 or 2 lots?
2
There's
lots.
5
Two
lots
lots?
altogether. The first house that exists is on 2 of those 5 lots, so
Right.
one side. And then the 3 available lots is the space between the 2
So
houses that
the
exist.
new house is going to be built the long way? Because there's an empty lot.
We don't know that yet.
We don't have a
Oh.
rendition of the
Yeah,
house.
That would
And then
make
there's
sense,
the
but it's not
driveway.
required.
It's most likely that this is going to the planning board. So for those, some of those who have concerns about the construction of the house and what it may look like, that's more of a planning board issue. So you may want to go to that meeting once that happens. The process is, once that we make an interpretation, because they're only here for an interpretation, which will happen tonight, one way or the other. If that's a positive interpretation, it'll go to the planning board, and they will decide if this will be, if they're going to need to go through the process with the planning board. So
And
once
my-
that
My other
happens,
concern is, are they building the house to sell or to rent? Because I wouldn't want to see tenants every so
There's
often.
nothing we could do
Yeah,
with that.
that's-
That's outside the purview of this
yeah,
board.
it's the owner's right to do what he wants with the house, so,
That's my concern.
okay.
It's an LLC, they don't live there, so they're interested in making money. So I've lived there for 32 years. I'm worried for my
Okay, well,
investment.
You own your property, you have the right to do what you want with your property, so does the same right go to the owner of this
Well,
property?
not necessarily, you need permits.
Well, of course, but within reason, obviously, so. What's legal,
Right.
so.
So the planning board is going to have a meeting about this?
Most likely.
If they get through this board, then the planning board's the only one that can create the lot with that configuration. It would go to them, get approved, and then it goes to the county. At that point, they would come to me to build a house. or
And
whatever.
when will we know if there's going to be a meeting about
You
this?
get noticed.
We get a notice?
If you're within 500 feet, you do.
Yeah, okay.
Just like
Thank
you
you.
got notice of this
Yeah,
meeting.
if you knew about this one, you'll know about that one.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, sir, if you want to come back up? State your name and address for the record.
Steve Briganti, 17 Ivy Hill Road, Mahopac.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. My property backs up to this property.
To the 3 lots.
Right, where the new one, she's next to me. Again, I'm curious what's being built. The property does not end at the fence. My property, according to the survey, goes back to the stone wall that's there. So what would the setback be from that distance?
Well, the rear property, Mike, you said it's 15 feet?
15
in
feet
that
to the
zone?
rear. 15 feet?
You're Napolitano?
No.
Did you buy from Napolitano?
I bought from the
So
They bought from the Fusco, Paul Fusco.
She said that at one point that was all one lot, hers and mine.
So someone did this
Behind
in
those
the...
lots.
they only touched
So somebody
Napolitano
already
lot.
did this.
They put Napolitano, and on the other side, FRF Corp., the gravel parking lot.
My Napolitano subdivided my house and his property.
Which is what the
When I
applicant wants
bought
to
the
do.
house, it was already.
All right, so they're going to have to get a survey done, right? If not, if they don't have one already, and they'll have to know where your property line is. They obviously can't do anything without coming here for variance to encroach within that 15 feet.
Yes.
So the current house there, they would be building where the driveway is. There would be nowhere to park but the street for those current
Not
tenants that are
necessarily.
renting.
Some of them could excavate and chip rock and build a retaining wall. So there's many different variations. We're not even at that step.
Yeah.
This step is just to get an interpretation, which they probably didn't even need to do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's the biggest step where you want to voice your concerns as neighbors is going to be at a planning
What
board meeting.
considers a width of a lot back in 1939?
That map.
Well,
Subdivision
2,500
map.
square feet. They're all pretty kind of similar, long skinny lots that are just
Because
chopped
that
up like
house
they
that's
are.
there now can't be more than 10 feet wide.
It's not, and it
Exactly.
encroaches on the second lot, maybe by 2 feet.
It's almost 20 feet wide.
Yeah, so.
Just about 20 feet
Just
wide.
about every meeting, we have a house from this neighborhood that's coming in for something, because they're either gonna go up or a little bit out.
Right.
Because, right, they're tight houses, we get it. So I can almost guarantee, like I said, the builder, whoever ends up building this, is gonna stay within the confines of
You can see
their
my
building.
concern. He's familiar with the FRF lot there that nobody seems to know who owns, and they hide behind a corporation.
I know who owns it, FRF Corp.
Yeah, it's
Can't get
just-
them, though. We've tried for
It's a parking lot
20
now
years.
for landscaping
FRF.
trucks, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to be at another dumping ground. All right, thank you.
All right. Anybody else wish to be heard on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Julie, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Good night,
Thanks,
Willie.
Willie. All right, where am I?
You're McCollum.
Application number 10, Joanne McConnell, for variation of section 156-9, seeking both area variances and use variances for permission to allow conversion of an existing structure to a dog kennel with associate site improvements. The property is located at 605 Union Valley Road, Mahopac, tax map 76.20-1-42. The code requires or allows 120,000 square feet. What's provided is 61,855. A variance of 58,145 is being sought. Side yard setback is 50 feet. What's provided now is 20 feet, so a variance of 30 feet is needed. Kennel setback is 20 feet. Requires or allows 100 feet. What's existing is 20 feet, so a variance of 80 feet is being sought. Fence height of 6 feet is required. What's provided is 8 feet, so a variance of 2 feet is being required. The code requires or allows a vegetative buffer required. There is no vegetative buffer existing, so a variance is being sought for that. And then a loading space is required, is 1 required. What's being provided is 0, so a variance is being sought for that as well. All right, you are all speaking?
Yes.
All right, so state your names one at a time
Joanne
and address
McConnell.
for the record.
Joanne McConnell, 605 Union Valley Road, Mahopac.
All right,
Lindsay McGuire, civil engineer representing Joanne for Modern Engineering.
and what's your address?
Our work
You
address?
can use your business address.
Yep, it's 261 Madison Avenue, New York.
Okay,
And make sure you put that sign in with that.
Em?
Phoebe Douglas, civil engineer, also working with Modern, 261 Madison Avenue.
Same address. All right, raise your right hands, please. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, who's going to be leading us through?
If I could
the
just take a
application?
minute to explain why I'm looking
Sure,
for the
just
variances.
speak clearly and loudly into the mic.
Okay.
Hey, just 1 second. Hey, Willie, can you guys take it outside? Thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Up until October 14th, 2018, my husband and I were literally living the American dream. We had both come here from Ireland in 1997 with nothing more than 2 small suitcases, young, in love, and not a care in the world. We worked hard, and little by little we created a life together. We made friends, we got married, and we started growing our family. And our Sunday drives, searching for the perfect neighborhood, a little reminder of home, landed us in Mahopac. The woods, the trees, the windy roads, the little shopping area, it was all perfect. And it just kept getting better. Preschool, sports, dance, gymnastics all brought new friends into our lives. And then came Fulmer Road, arguably the best elementary in the district. You can't put 4 kids through the elementary school without becoming friends with everyone. Friends that become family. Life was wonderful. We had everything we ever wanted until October 14th, 2018, when the doctor said stage 4 lung cancer, metastasized to the bones and lymph nodes. We had a 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th grader, and all I could think that day, as I waited for them to be brought to me for pickup, was I'm going to be the first person to break their hearts, but I'm supposed to be the one who protects them. Once we got over the shock, we decided we had to do everything we could to fight this, but also prevent cancer from changing the trajectory of our kids' lives. So we decided there was no room for anger. We skipped the why us, and this isn't fair because why not us? Cancer doesn't care that we made a promise to grow old together, that my world was always okay as long as Owen was in it, that I didn't know who I even was without him, that he was an amazing father. He was the funny one. I'm the practical one. I'm not funny. So for 3 years, we showered the heavens with prayers pleading for miracles. During that time, our community, Fulmer, Mahopac, Somers, Carmel, our Irish friends in Woodlawn, Ireland, England, and Australia, they rallied. Messages galore, donations, fundraisers, and most importantly, a listening ear and someone to cry with. Year 4 was when things started to shift, from slow growth and more tumors to extreme pain. A broken rib from a small burp after breakfast, and hearing the targeted therapy wasn't working anymore. Our Hail Mary was more radiation and add chemo. Chemo, the one thing the doctor on day 1 told us wouldn't help Owen's type of cancer. That night, as I helped Owen off the couch to help him to bed, he held me tight, and he said, "I need you to promise me something." I said, "Anything. Don't let me give up." He had asked me to make the first promise to him that I knew one day I was going to have to break. But I didn't think twice, because in the moment he needed to know that I was never going to give up on him, not until he had nothing more to give. Unfortunately, the chemo brought a barrage of complications. All while suffering terrible bone pain and a broken rib, he got violently sick. The man that had eaten the most god-awful concoctions I made for him, anything that I could find that helped other patients with pain or inflammation. Some were green, some were orange and thick with pulp, and this angel of a man chugged it down, and whether it did or didn't, he told me it helped. Owen now couldn't stand the smell or thought of food, and he stopped eating. A chest infection, blood clots, and then COVID followed. On Wednesday, the 9th of November, I showered Owen and practically carried my once 6'2" tall, dark, and handsome to the car. His oncologist had told me to bring him straight in when I called him with an update. I had no idea that that was the last time Owen would leave our house. When I visited him Saturday morning, he was very agitated. He was speaking fast and just not himself. The first thing he asked me was, how long was it until Christmas? I said about 6 weeks. Christmas was always our favorite time of year, and he desperately wanted to be here for one more for the kids. That seemed like a long time, he answered. My heart started pounding. This was the moment I had been dreading for 4 years. He was ready. So at that moment, I broke my promise, and I said, "Owen, if that seems like too long, it's okay. You have done enough. You gave the kids and I so much in the last 4 years." And I made him a new promise. I said, "I promise you we will be okay. I will make sure the kids don't forget what's important, that they stay on their path, and cancer won't steal anything more from us than it already has." The oncologist told us that day that Owen had 2 weeks left. The next day, the kids were allowed to visit him, and he was amazing. He spoke to them individually and together. While they were together, he told them to remember what's important in life: honesty, integrity, and a life of service. Then he told them that there was one more important thing, and in fact, this was the most important thing for them to remember. And he said, "Don't pick someone to settle down with unless they are a Jets fan." That was who Owen was. His last words left them with a forever smile. The next day, I got a call from the hospital at 8 a.m. Things had taken a turn during the night, and after a full day of his friends visiting him at the hospital and saying their goodbyes, Owen quietly passed. After waiting for everyone to leave, and with all 6 of us together, just like he had wanted it to be. Since then, we have spent 3.5 years doing our best to honor him in every way we can. We talk about him every single day and include him in everything we do. But there are other responsibilities that make life difficult. Losing the breadwinner is difficult. Going from a 2-parent household to 1, everything still costs the same. And as the kids get older, cars, insurance, and something I still don't want to talk about, college, it all becomes impossible on one small income. This barn was a dream Owen and I talked about from shortly after we moved in, and we discovered that it was once a boarding facility. We spoke to Mike about a few months before Owen was diagnosed, and we were as far as having plans drawn up and paid a deposit. But once the diagnosis came, we knew we needed every penny to fight the cancer, and the dream was put on hold. This business would help me fulfill my promise to Owen. It would facilitate the means to help my kids through the next few years until they are on their own feet. It would alleviate the stress that comes with owning a house with maintenance and repairs. It would bring some joy back to our lives, and like I promised Owen, we would be okay.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
As far as the process here is, this has already been built. Did you not know, like, you needed to go get approvals beforehand instead of building this and then going for it afterwards, right?
chime in.
Maybe you can speak to that.
Yeah, so I think the history of this property is important. It was once a much larger property that was a former dog kennel facility. It was then parceled out. This barn existed on that property when it was a larger property, and then when it was parceled out, and then when the McConnells moved in 19 years ago, it was still there. So they've done some renovations and just put
All
a
right, so
new
it's
barn
not,
in the
it's not
exact
new
same
construction,
location.
it's
Right.
been renovated to
Yeah.
an existing size and shape and the same?
Everything's existing,
Okay.
yep, so same existing offsets and everything. Well, it's a new building,
But it
right.
was, there was a building.
But on the existing footprint?
Yes.
Does that cross into self-creation?
Well, that's why I'm asking, I
I
mean.
know, because that just,
They're not here for the area variance for the garage, if that's what you're asking. I couldn't hear you, so.
no, I'm going use variance. In my mind, there's a use variance.
It is use variance. It says it
You're
right
asking
there.
for both
Use and area.
Both area and use variances.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about self-creation, because that'll torpedo a use variance too, won't it?
Who owns the
Yeah.
Blue Raised Ranch on the left side? Is that part of the
Yeah,
lot?
that's our home,
That's part of your home. Is that all one lot?
yes.
Have you ever put financials together of how this business is gonna work? Because that's part of this too. Once you're into use variance territory, it gets very, very specific. So,
I mean,
Has
you
any
guys,
council-
as
have you helped her
engineers,
with that?
yeah, you guys are familiar with the criteria for use variances and area variances.
The way we've explained the way we've understood it for the use variance in town of Carmel is that this is a low-density residential and it would need to be made commercial with specific setbacks for the use variance of converting to a dog kennel facility with the lot area, et cetera.
but state law dictates, go ahead.
Yeah, so let me read you the criteria for a use variance, right? So all of these must be approved, all four of these items. So an incapable, here, you read it better. Number one is incapable of earning a reasonable return if used for any of the allowable uses. Dollar amounts must be shown, right? So, you know, if it was once a kennel, Mike, did we know that for a fact?
The property was, but that kennel was divided off to the neighbor.
All right, so that.
I'm
and
pretty
once-
sure that that's.
Once that use went away, it's.
This was a house,
Okay.
okay?
But it
But
was an open
the
air-
whole thing
open
together
air kennel?
was, and I think it was Lundy, am I correct that they were the owners? Yeah, but I think it was Lundy before Goldfine. Yeah, and I think that's who did the subdivision initially, and then it was the dog kennel went to the other property, and the house is the house.
But once that use ceased for at least a year, it's.
Well, once they divided it, it lost it
It
anyway.
lost it
It lost,
anyway,
right.
because of the subdivision.
Right.
That's why they're here for a use variance.
All right, and then number two is the property is affected by unique or at least highly uncommon circumstances. Number three, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And number four, it's not self-created, which in this case, which Silvio is alluding to, is that this has been self-created. You know, the fact is, like I said, you're going for this after building and renovating this building, it's cart before the horse, you know what I mean? It should have been the other way
You needed not to do
around.
anything first, because this will get overturned in court in a second.
So, you know, my recommendation is probably to seek counsel on
Right.
this, or, you know, to try to help develop a little more of the history or
And a
what you need.
business
but-
plan, also, because we're gonna need the dollar
Right, to
amounts.
show financial amounts.
State law dictates that. There's not much we can do here.
For the
Not with these.
financials. So we can do a business plan.
I'm thinking there are probably people here that want to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
I'll
I don't
forward that.
wanna
I
cut
just,
it off.
we
I
want to
don't
go
wanna cut it
through
off.
the process here, though, to help guide you in one instance. But, you know, we also have to hear what neighbors and other people want to have their opinion about, right? They're your neighbors that they have a right to speak on. So, I don't know, the board have any other questions as to?
We'd even dive into the
It's a
area
use.
part.
Yeah, area
It's a-
variances are, there's a lot of.
Yeah, area variance is pretty simple. The use, you have to show, you must show the following. And you have to show the earnings. You have to really show it and where the earnings are.
You have to
Not
show that you
capable.
can't get a reasonable return using the permitted uses, I believe. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's incapable of earning a reasonable return.
But isn't the
Incapable, you
permitted
gotta show
use
that.
of that house, of that lot, residential?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Sorry.
So it's a residential lot.
Correct.
So it's not like you bought an office building and you want to convert it to an apartment because you can't rent it out to offices. It's a residential, so how do
What
we
he's saying is
wrestle with
it
that?
could be turned into a useful residential.
Right, and I think
property.
it's with the idea of keeping in line with the rest of the neighborhood, that there are a couple small businesses sprinkled throughout, and this would just be one that kind of melts in with the rest of the neighborhood. If you drive past and see that barn, you're not gonna think it's a dog kennel, it's just a really nice barn.
Right.
Is the barn on the same lot as the house?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all one,
yeah, I think I was in there today.
So it would have to be
Show you a
subdivided
picture.
to get a reasonable
There's the
return. You'd have
house.
to subdivide the property.
Would you?
Which they'll never do because they only have an acre and a half.
That's how close it
Okay.
is.
It's tight there.
Do you have any comments on the self-created aspect of it?
I don't think it's viewed as self-created because it was replacing an existing building right in the place. And at that time when it was being replaced, I think it was just because it was in such a state of disrepair, it was just replaced in that exact area. And that's what made sense for the site with how vehicles move in that area and everything else. It's just always been there.
Why no vegetation buffer?
I think that might be a typo. We have zero issue with a vegetative buffer. So you can disregard that one.
Well, I think that would have been conditioned accordingly.
Sure. And I mean, the loading space as well, we've worked around that. We don't require loading space.
You don't require loading space?
So it's really the setbacks and the
That's where the
fence
garage
height
door
for
is?
safety. I'm sorry?
Garage door on the property? That's
No.
the-
Well, I mean, there's a garage door, I think, just for access to potentially bring something in, but it's not the main use.
What is that little structure in front of the barn?
It's a well.
It's
the well?
it's a well house that will be removed for this.
That will
Does this have to go through planning?
They bumped it up to.
They're at planning.
And planning would address noise, barking dogs,
Yeah.
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 stuff like that? Okay.
You have a hill to climb
Parking,
with that.
all that stuff, lighting, everything that would be involved with the planning board.
Right.
All right, any more questions from the board? Comments? John? Rose?
No.
All right, at this point, I'm going to open it up to the public, whoever raises their hand first. Sir? All right, guys, can you step aside and let the public be heard? Just don't forget to write your name, address, and contact info on that paper when you leave the podium.
And speaking to the mic.
Yeah, just turn the mic to your mouth.
How you
please.
doing?
State your
My
name and
name's
address.
Steve Dale, 580 and 582 Union Valley Road, directly across the street from the McConnell property is where I live.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Mrs. McConnell has self-created the need for these variances by trying to start a commercial business in a residential neighborhood. She created this circumstance, and it will have a direct impact on all the neighbors because of the close proximity of the houses. She's only approximately 120 feet from my property, the kennel part.
Right.
So I don't want to hear barking dogs at my house all the time. Every time I come out of the house, the dogs are going to go crazy. I'm outside a lot working, around the yard and in my garage, and it just go. So that being said, I made some things for the board I want to speak on real quick, and I wanted to give the board a copy of an easement, which she, on her application, said there was no easements on the property. Well, there's easements for septic as well as water.
Did you
So
send
I
this
have-
to
Yeah, I think we
us?
have that.
Did you send this? We have an email from Steve.
Yes, that's me.
That's you?
All right, so we got it.
So
Yeah.
a copy of the actual easement?
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yes.
We have the
Gold
copies.
Yes, we have it.
Gold
Gold
flash.
We got it.
I want to start by saying, I don't want to be here tonight to oppose this, but I feel like I have no other choice. If the board grants these variances and allows Joanne to do this, it will cause both my tenant and my septic to fail. She knows this because I've had multiple conversations with her, both her and her late husband, Owen, about this, and the fact that the property couldn't support what they wanted to do 5 years ago because they showed me the plans. So they planned this 5 years ago to build this building, and I said that the property, given the easements and the water problems, you know, where I got, I'm sorry, let me continue. She basically misrepresented to the board by saying there's no easements on the property so that she could get this to pass. And when in fact there's both, you know, the water and the septic. She cannot claim she's unaware of this because she calls me every time we have no water because I've maintained the well the whole time since they've lived there. And it's I've also maintained my septic on the front yard the whole time they've lived there throughout the years. Her front yard currently holds 3 septic systems.
Wow. So it's your two pieces and they're.
Yeah, her tank, 400 feet of field suitable for her 4-bedroom house. But Joanne has added 2 more bedrooms to her house without adding the extra fields to support the new 6 bedrooms that she has, that she was renting out last year, and it caused her fields to flood and back up into her house. This is not enough, there's not enough room in her front yard to expand this due to my septic sharing the front yard. My tenant's fields are there as well as my tank and my fields. So all of these systems are already struggling because we live in, I don't know if you've been to the site, it's basically like this. We're at the very bottom of 2 hills. So all the water flows down to the
And the
bottom.
easement is for your septic to be used on.
On her
okay.
property, yes.
And everything crosses the street, all piping?
Yes, underneath the street. My house was built in the 1800s, so it was predating everything.
Right.
1899 and 1850 and 1899 were the build dates of the houses. So back then, that was all one, that was a farm.
Okay.
And it went under the road. So basically, her fields are there, 400 feet, and then it gradually slopes down. Mine is at the very bottom of the property. So any extra water that she adds to her, you know, onto there, like a dog kennel or what have you, it's going to flood the whole front yard, and then basically my septic becomes useless. She can't say that she doesn't know about the easement because I gave them a copy of the easement when they moved in there. And, you know, like I said, I've maintained, you know, my tank and my septic.
And just one quick second, Mike, that's confirmed, right? There's an easement?
You have it in your hand. I didn't see it. You guys have it.
Was this brought up to the planning board when they decked this?
We didn't get there yet.
Her application said there was no easements.
No, they did, planning did a negative declaration on this. Wouldn't that show up in the seeker?
No, it hasn't gone.
Yeah, there's a secret.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I'm just
I don't
curious.
do that part of it.
Yeah,
Billy Pat does the negative deck, and then the planning board votes on it, so I'm not sure what was brought up.
Just hold.
Did
I'll
you
give
send it to
time
planning?
Respond once you finish
Yeah,
this.
did Craig's signatures on the.
No, did he send that easement to planning?
Did that go to the planning board?
Excuse me?
Did that copy of the easement go to the planning board?
As far as Rose said, that it went to the planning board and also the zoning board, so everybody should have a copy of
When
that.
did you send that?
I don't have the date when I spoke with
Roughly.
Rose. I'd have to look it up on my
Oh, that's
phone.
fine.
Because when I sent,
Was it months ago?
oh, yeah, months ago.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, but we just
All right,
got,
so then-
we got a copy
Yeah,
of it just
I'm
with this
asking
case.
why planning.
And
did what it
I
did with
followed
that.
up, and she said that she sent it to everybody.
Okay.
And Rose.
All right, go ahead,
Oh, okay.
continue with your points.
Sorry.
So our well is currently struggling because we got 4 houses on it already. We have Joanne's, and we got Kevin's, my tenant, and myself. It's a shallow well, it's only 30 feet deep. And
There
because the
would be
water,
bathroom facilities being added to this barn if
Exactly.
I think I saw that in the drawings.
Exactly. That's my concern. Last year, she was texting me and calling me and saying, we don't want you to flush the toilets or take a shower. You guys shouldn't do it because we're going to run out of water. She was concerned about that, yet she hooked another line onto the well, so it makes 5 now. I'm just confused as to, how she thinks that this plan is going to work. They said, I hate to even be here, but, because I've been very close with the family throughout the years, but I feel like I'm going to lose if this goes through.
You got to protect yourself, we understand.
And she's complained also multiple times, because the houses are, like I said, it's only, 120 feet to, 130. So she's complained about noise from my tenants and flashing lights into her bedroom and bothering her, but she claims that dogs barking next door are not going to bother us, which that's just, I don't understand that. The extra traffic in and out of the driveway, because she's, planning on having up to 15 dogs supposedly in and out, is going to cause an unsafe situation for both my tenants and myself, because we have multiple accidents there all the time, including rollovers, 4 or 5 car pileups. People, it's just crazy. It's Armageddon there. So allowing the dog kennel there is going to decrease my property value, because I'm potentially looking to resell, in the next, 4 or 5 years and move south. It's going to decrease my property value. Who wants to buy a house directly across the street from a dog kennel? It's, like I said, it's under 130 feet. So I ask you to deny the application. And again, I'm sorry, I really didn't want to be here. I've helped the family. I've done plumbing over there. I've done electrical. I fixed their boiler. I plowed their driveway. So this breaks my heart to even have to be here. But
We got you.
I don't feel I have a choice.
I have one question. At the beginning, I think you said that they brought up to you several years ago.
5 years ago.
Was that before they did these renovations to
Oh,
fix
yeah.
the barn?
And it's not a renovation. They tore the building down and built a whole brand-new building according to the plans that they showed me 5 years ago, when no one was still alive. So,
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
She created this.
So the goal was always to use the barn as a kennel?
Yes, she showed me the plans with a dog washing station and a bathroom, and like I said, I've been very close with the family, so that's why I said it breaks my heart to be here.
And the old kennel was not on this
Never.
lot?
No, it's on the adjacent property, which is still an existing kennel now.
It's still a kennel?
Yes,
So she wants to have 2 kennels right next to each other?
yes.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'll let you respond, ma'am, to get any of his comments.
Yep, thank you. I just want to clarify the easement. I think it was me, maybe at a previous planning board meeting, saying we did an easement research within the town of Carmel records, and we didn't find one at that point. I think an email did come through. We weren't able to find that in records, but I don't think anyone's contesting that there is an easement access, and this kennel isn't going to interfere with that in any way. In the planning board, we've addressed many issues, one of those being septic. There is no hookup other than having a half bath there for the use, whether it's the homeowner in the residential home or whether they're in the dog kennel, because there's no external employees coming on site.
But there's also water usage as well, right? Because you're dealing with, you have to give the dogs water, you have to
Washing them,
clean out the cage, the kennels, you have to give them bath. So there's definitely a water usage issue there.
So, and that was addressed in the planning board meeting. So this is not a kennel that has grates on the floor that you might see where people hose everything down. That's not one of those. This is meant to be more of that home away from home situation. If there were to be a mess, it would be cleaned up with cleaning products and paper towels. This is not a grooming facility. If a dog were to create a big mess on itself, there would be a bathing station for those one-off situations, but there's not going to be a paid service for bathing. This is just, they will have water, yes.
But you're talking about 15 dogs being there at one time.
Up to 15 dogs, yes.
So just the waste alone
Is
on the
gonna-
property.
Right, and we have worked out that's going to be taken away on a weekly or maybe more frequent basis with a company. It's going to be put into garbage cans.
Okay. You responded to his comments, all right?
Yes.
Any,
That's-
someone else?
Hi, my name is Kevin Frome. I live at
You
597
can turn the mic
Union
up to your
Valley
mouth.
Road. I actually own the kennel next door.
All right, you said your address? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
597 Union Valley Road.
All right, raise your right hand. Right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, first I want to say, very sorry about Owen McConnell. Great guy, we used to drink together.
Just speak into the mic,
Oh,
please. So we
great
can-
guy, we used to drink together. Very sorry about that he passed away. It's a very sad thing, all right? This was originally the Lundy property. The houses were divided. Steve bought the two houses across the street. Well, not them, but someone else bought the house and the barn, and I bought the kennel and the 44 acres to have my kennel there. Then I built a house there,
How many
right?
acres do you have? I'm sorry?
Excuse me?
How many?
44.
44. That's
Right?
what I thought you said. Okay.
I'm all over. I own all the property behind their house and the houses down behind his house. It's a big piece of property for a kennel, right? That's why it still has a kennel. All right, let me just say. So I live at 597 Union Valley Road, right next to the McConnells. I've been a professional dog trainer for 35 years. I specialize in canine behavior and have been working with dogs my entire life. I've worked just about every corner of the dog business you can think of, from being a dog walker, a veterinarian technician. I professionally managed kennels. I was a breeder of Labrador Retrievers for 15 years, and I also competed in obedience and conformation as well as judging dog shows. I have run my kennel at Union Valley Road for the past 26 years, and I have always been considerate of our impact on our neighbors, and it continues to be a very high priority for us. I feel we have been successful in doing so because we've never had a complaint against us in 26 years. After attending the January 28th Planning Board meeting and watching the two subsequent meetings on YouTube, there were questions asked by the Planning Board that I felt were not answered truthfully or at all. They just kind of went on to the other things after asking questions. Number one, there's a shared well on the property. The agreement between the McConnells, Mr. Deo, and I covers 4 buildings: the McConnell house, Mr. Deo's 2 houses, and my kennel. It does not provide for this new barn, which never had water supplied to it before. The well line was cut into, and a new line was run to it when they recently built the barn. When asked by the planning board about water for the newborn, Mr. English from M&D Engineering replied, and I quote, "Yes, there's an existing line to the barn. But the only reason there's a water line to the barn is that they cut in to it for the new building of the barn. It's actually how I found out about Mrs. McConnell's idea for putting in a kennel. Mrs. McConnell called me and told me the water was going to be cut off. When I asked why, I was very surprised to hear she told me she was planning on putting up a boarding kennel. I didn't say anything. I try and stay out of people's business. Believe me when I say I do not want to be here in front of you guys. I've been doing this for 26 years. I've had no problems at all. Adding a pack of dogs on the other side of the fence from our pack of dogs is going to cause problems. We're barking, and it's going to stress out both packs. We live in a valley, Union Valley. The sound stays in there. You guys on this thing must know that because everybody's complaining about the gun club, right? It's really loud in there. I have a hard time keeping my dogs quiet just from one dog up on the hill barking, right? Like, okay, dogs, be quiet. There's one dog up there. If there's a whole pack of dogs on the other side of the fence, that's going to be a problem.
All right, just do me a favor, try to get to your points quickly because looks
Okay.
like we got a packed house.
When I first moved in there was a problem. The neighbor next door, Al DeFusco, was breeding pit bulls and boarding dogs there, which caused my dogs to be barking back and forth all the time, right? They asked about water usage. They've cut into the well. Now it supplies 5 different places compared to the 4 that is in the agreement. All right, they said they're not going to use water. That's not how kennels are run, right? Dogs get dirty, dogs get sick, dogs throw up. for many reasons. They eat something, whatever they do, they throw up. They get stressed out because they're in a new place. Their owner gave them way too many treats that day before they dropped them off because they were guilty about leaving them. Many reasons why they throw up. Dogs have diarrhea, sometimes projectile diarrhea, right? Same things because of those things, right? Plus because of disease and viruses, right? Any kennel has to be clean, right? That's the most important thing. There's canine parvovirus, canine cough, canine influenza. We clean our place like a hospital every day. Wash it down, make sure that it's super, super clean because there's a disease problem, right? We just closed for 3 weeks. I closed my kennel down because one dog had kennel cough. One puppy came in and had kennel cough. I closed down. We cleaned that place 12 times, top to bottom, before we opened up again, right? This is not a game. When you board dogs, right, it has to be safely, right? You have to sanitize it. It's kennel management 101.
Get that point.
Right? Low water usage. Kennels use tons of water. That's what we do. We clean up, we give dogs water all the time. It's not realistic, right? You water down the kennels and the gravel areas where the dogs pee, right? You have to wash dogs. People want their dogs washed. Dogs step in things. They slobber all over each other. They pee on each other, right? You have to wash dogs before they go home to their people. Their people aren't going to want that.
We get
right?
the point.
Okay. So, you guys talked about the property line, right? When Mrs. McGuire was asked about the property line and how close it was, she started mentioning the house, which is up the way, but it's not. It's about the property line, yeah? Right? So, the proposed enclosure behind their house is right next to my property line. The shed that's on my property line, that's sitting there right now, there's no variance for that. It's on my property line, right? It's there. I have pictures for it if you'd like to see, right? That's just not in there. It's not in the proposed plan, right?
Looks like it's 20 feet and then 137 to the back line.
So that's in conformity if it's back 20 feet.
Either way, right?
No, 20 feet would be conforming, because it's got to be 15.
Yes.
So that's a conform, she didn't need any variances for that.
The planning board asked if there's a good buffer of trees between the properties. Mr. English from M&D Engineering said, I would say so, very separated, heavily wooded. But the truth is, between my property and the barn is one big dead tree and some forsythia. That's it. That tree is about to fall on her brand new barn or my fence. It's been dead for years. Right? I have pictures of that too. You know, the planning board also asked that this is going to be a family member run kennel. That's really not something that can happen, right? Like if the family has to be somewhere, you have to have employees to take care of the kennel, and it's not going to be run by children. This is a very serious thing that we do, right? When someone drops their dog off from me, I'm bringing their dog back to them safe, I'm bringing their dog back to them clean, and I'm bringing their dog back to them healthy. We don't have people come and drop off dogs. 90% of our people are picked up and dropped off because of Union Valley Road. It's almost impossible to get a car in there at 7 o'clock in the morning, which we don't open until 9, because if we opened at 7 o'clock, the neighborhood would be on fire, right? Dogs go crazy when people come and leave. It's always going to be that way, right? So we don't let people come until 9 o'clock. So say the 10% of people that do come to our place, it's all by appointment, like haircut appointment. You're going to be here at 10 o'clock. You're going to be here at 10:15. So we never have a backup in the driveway, and we're careful about that, right? So we've done all sorts of things to make this kennel work in this neighborhood. It's not something that anybody can just do willy-nilly, right? So, last thing. The planning board asked if they did a traffic study, and a reply was no. Mr. English's proof of this, and I say, and in quote, he said, we haven't had anyone say anything. This is definitely the most dangerous spot on Union Valley Road. It's a blind curve that people run into each other
Yep, we've
all
all
the
been
time.
out there and seen it.
Mrs. McConnell knows she's had cars in her front yard flipped over, at least 2 that I've seen, and no, I know there's many more.
Yeah, we
So
saw
this-
that in the
this is-
letter.
This is it, right?
So these are all planning board issues that need to be addressed by the
Correct,
planning
but they
board.
didn't let us
Right now,
speak
we're
at the
dealing with the
planning
use variance and the
They
area
will.
variance.
They will.
There'll be a
They
public
will.
hearing.
There has to be a public hearing if we kick this back,
Okay, can I say one more thing?
2 seconds.
as quick as you can.
All right. In a regular board and kennel situation, Sundays are one of the busiest days. We've lost clients because we don't open on Sunday. We're not going to blow up the neighborhood on Sunday mornings, right? Mrs. McConnell has never been woken up on a Sunday or a holiday by our dogs. No one is. We don't let the dogs out until 10 o'clock. They go out to the bathroom, but we don't let them out to play or make noise or anything like that, right? I really am careful about our neighborhood and about not being complained about because I want to be
Okay, in
accepted.
fairness, I stated at the beginning of the meeting, 2 minutes. You're on like
I got
20
it,
minutes
I
here,
got
all
it.
right? So I'm
totally
gonna,
see.
I'm
I
gonna
just wanna
pull,
get my
I'm gonna
point
pull the
across.
cane, all right?
I didn't seem like I was allowed to
Just write
talk
your
to you.
name and address on that letter. Ma'am, you were next. Please try to keep it and not the same points. If you have new points, please. State your name and address for the record.
Jana Hodge, 15 Rock Hill Road in Mahopac.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. Proceed.
Sorry.
Speak into the mic, please.
I think we've heard a lot today about this kennel, but I wanted to just talk about Joanne. Joanne and Owen are pillars of this community, you know, prior to Owen's passing and now. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that Joanne's done for the community. When Owen was first diagnosed, a group of their friends organized a fun run to help offset the family's enormous medical bills. It was the weekend before Christmas, and it was so dubbed the Reindeer Run. In the years since that first run, Joanne has single-handedly taken the reins and organized a reindeer run every December, each time to benefit another Mahopac family facing serious medical challenges of their own. She turned something born out of her family's pain into an annual gift for her community. That's just who Joanne is. In the 20 years she's been a Mahopac resident, she has consistently given of herself, volunteering at the Mahopac schools, supporting her children as they are active members of this community through MSA Sports and St. John's CYO. This business represents a path forward for Joanne and her family. Since Owen's passing, those 4 beautiful children have continued to grow and college tuitions are on the horizon. The business would allow Joanne to remain in the community she loves, that her children love, and be able to provide for them in the years ahead. It is also a continuation of everything that she has been doing, building something meaningful, investing in this community, and creating a future for her family right here in Mahopac. I've watched Joanne carry more than most people ever will, with grace, with purpose, and without complaint. Please allow the opportunity for her to lighten that burden with a business that allows her to support her family and remain in the only place they call home. And I'm also going to add to that I have 2 dogs, and I can never find a kennel in Mahopac. So, thank you for letting me speak.
All right, just write your name and address and contact info on board. Who's next? Anyone else wish to be heard? Come on up. State your name and address for the record. Speak into the mic, please.
There's another one there.
There's one
Okay,
right there.
thank you. My name is Stephanie Azadian. I'm actually at 11 Lounsbury Drive. However, my parents own 611 Union Valley
Okay,
Road.
So you represent them, okay. Raise
Yeah.
your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Go ahead.
First, I want to say I'm very sorry for what you went through. However, I do believe that having a commercial use kennel in a residential zone would be pretty detrimental to the neighborhood. And also the good point of the road is that road is terrible. I grew up on that road, 35 years old. I can't tell you how many accidents have occurred on that road. And the variances are pretty significant. So that's just another concern that I have as bringing my kids over, you know, to my parents' house. If there's no buffer or anything like that, you know, keeping those dogs safe and keeping children safe in the neighborhood is also something that's very concerning to me. So that's just something I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Just write your name,
Sure.
address, and
Stephanie, I
contact.
think we received a letter
Oh,
from you
yes,
as well.
I did send an email just stating some of my concerns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to be heard on this application? Going once, going twice. All right, do you have anything that you want to respond to? Or answer or retort?
I think, like you said, a couple of these comments that came back were planning board, so I don't want to address all of them, but one of the main ones was traffic, and Mr. English did say that on the first meeting, but on the second meeting, we did do a much more thorough study about the line of sight distance, and with a posted speed limit in that area, it more than meets that line of sight distance from the driveway. I think the McConnells even put up a guardrail on their property when they had moved in to help prevent that. I do understand that there's still accidents, but the line of sight with the existing conditions meets all the design criteria.
Okay. I mean, I have to state this, to afford you the option to hold this over and
Sure.
review some of the comments and concerns, and maybe seek counsel, someone who can give Ms. O'Connell more guidance and help
Sure.
down that way. I'm not spending her money or what have you, but I'm giving that option before, because otherwise we're going to hear this tonight, and based on the facts and what we've heard, we're going to adjudicate on it, so.
Yeah, I think we would like to have another chance at this.
All right, Greg, do you see nothing wrong with that, right?
No, you can make a motion to hold it over, just do something.
No, because again, you have to produce financials, and
Sure.
Right.
you're gonna have to address that self-creation,
Okay.
which,
All right, so is that what you're seeking, to hold
Yes,
this over?
please. Yes.
All right, I'll look for a motion to hold this matter over.
so move. Oh, second.
Seconded by Silvio, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right, where am I?
Kearns.
Number 11, Robert Carnes. Carnes. For a variation of section 156-9, seeking an area variance for permission to construct a two-story addition and wraparound porch to include an enlarged first-floor kitchen and an enlarged primary bedroom suite above. The property is located at 30 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York. Tax map 76.31-1-6. The code requires or allows the front yard 40 feet. What's provided is 21.4 feet, so a variance of 18.6 feet is being required. Side yard setback is 20 feet of what's required. What's going to be provided is 4.6 feet, so a variance of 15.4 feet is being sought. Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
Both going to be speaking? I know he's going to be speaking.
I'm going to try to let him do all the talking for once.
You're going to talk anyway, so.
Chairman
Names and
Maxwell,
address
members
for
of the
the
board, Greg, Mike, Ed, good to see everyone this
State your name and
evening.
address, both of you.
Thomas McDermott, representing McDermott Architecture, out of 339 Route 202, Suite 250, Somers, New York.
Okay, Rob?
Robert Kearns, 30 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York.
Raise your right hands, guys. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
I do.
Go ahead, Mr. McDermott.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
So I think this application should be a little bit easier than the previous one. I'd like to give a little bit of background on the property before we get started. So the original piece of property was developed in 1926. Rob and Frankie were fortunate enough to purchase that property from her. So they gave her, she gave them a little bit of background on the property. The original property, actually, talking about kennels, it served as a petting zoo years and years ago.
Really?
Yeah, a long, long time
Back in
ago.
the 30s, yeah.
Yeah. But in the 70s, Ms. Helen Pagoli subdivided the property and created several lots. And now the house, which was located on a larger piece of property, is very close to the north property line. So if you look at the lot, you can see over here.
Grab, just grab the microphone.
Tom, grab the.
Sorry.
So you can see here, it's north, south. The town hall is actually located, just north of this property. There's McAlpin Avenue. And so this property to the north was originally a barn that served this house. That is now Drew Safarowicz's home. He's a contractor that I work with, and he couldn't be here tonight. He had something going on for his family, but he offered to write a letter in support if needed. So what we're proposing to do is to construct a two-story addition on the south side of the property, and then continue the existing porch, wrap that around the south side of the property, wrap it a tiny bit around the north side, and then build the chimney for a fireplace on the north side of the property. The majority of the addition doesn't require variance. It's a very small portion. By wrapping the porch around the north side, and then by bumping out for the chimney, those are the two pieces that are going to require the
And you're following
variances.
the same lines pretty much that exist going up,
Correct.
right, straight up from that.
Yeah, it's a modest-sized house. The existing footprint is, I think, 611 square feet, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 611. It's 23'9" by 25'9", and we're proposing a 10'9" by 23'9" two-story addition. That the footprint's 255 square feet. So what's that? 510 roughly.
All right, so there's no property you can buy, right, to bring into conformance, you're all landlocked there, obviously. You talk to the neighbors left and right?
Yeah, my neighbors are all in support.
Support, right?
Yeah, it was a starter home that my wife and I purchased out of the military. This is what we could afford. We have great equity in the house. We love our neighbors. We love where we live. We don't want to leave, so we're just gonna build a home that fits our needs now, and so our children can grow up and I could walk down to work.
Yeah, Wednesday nights, right? You may be every day.
So let me walk you through. I brought the floor plans. So again, this is oriented the same way as the survey. So this is north, this is south. So here's the proposed addition. We're just going to do an unfinished storage area down on the lower level. We're going to reconfigure the basement to create a small family room. And this is an existing bathroom that we're going to renovate. On the first floor, we're bumping out roughly 10'9" to the south. We're going to create a small mudroom, laundry room, powder room, and enlarge the kitchen. And then up on the second floor, Robin and Frankie's bedroom is currently in this location, and so we're going to extend that and create a new primary bedroom suite up there with a closet and a bathroom. Enlarge their son's bedroom a little bit as well. And then the other portion that requires variance is we're going to put a fireplace right here. Yeah, it's that and just this little piece of porch roof that wraps around. And I want to show you the renderings that I brought so you can see. So you can see by carrying it across here, it kind of ties it in, brings it back to the chimney. So this is looking from the south, and this is looking from the west.
And that's the same materials? Is that a metal roof on the overhang?
I'm sorry, John?
Is that a metal roof on the overhang?
So it might be shingles, might be metal. It's gonna be budget dependent. We're hoping that it'll be metal.
I mean, not that it matters to the case, I'm just curious because it looks like.
Yeah, the plan is metal, board and batted siding with black windows and a metal roof, depending on how much money I
You're
have
doing a
left.
full renovation, you're doing the windows throughout the whole house?
I'm doing the whole house.
Yeah, whole house.
Whole house is
Exciting.
being gutted and completely renovated.
You're burying the electric.
I'm gonna try, because NICEAG came in and put it right in the front of my house for some reason. Yeah, I'm gonna bury everything.
All right, looks good.
Digging the footings.
Board members, any questions,
That looks
comments?
good. Good
No
luck.
questions. Down here? No. Anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? All right. I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right, finally, last, well, two cases.
Two cases,
You read it.
but they're back to back.
Oh, this is back to back.
Back to back to back. Good evening, sir. Guess I don't need that note anymore. All right, application, going back in time.
Might as well hear them together, right?
Manuel Mancella, am I pronouncing it? Mancella. For a variation of section 156-9, seeking variance for permission to construct a proposed addition to existing single-family residence. The property is located at 18 Old Country Road, Mahopac. It's tax map 76.6-1-11. Code requires or allows for the rear 15 feet. What's provided is 2 feet, so a variance of 13 feet is being sought. Rear porch, again, is 15 feet. What's provided is 3.91 feet, so a variance of 11.09. Rear deck again, well, deck now, not porch, is 15 feet as well. So 11.71 feet will be provided, and a variance of 3.29 feet will be sought. All right, state your name and address for the record.
Jorge B. Hernandez, ARQ Architecture, 100 Secret Boulevard, Aslan, New York.
Just bring the mic a little closer to you, if you would, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Hor-
Raise your
yeah.
right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Okay, bring us through the application. There's a house existing there now, right?
There's an existing house, and actually, as you said, there's two projects together. The same family owns both properties, and they're trying to renovate both the properties for the family and both houses that we're doing. This house, actually, right now, that we are asking, we are doing an addition, but right now, where we say we're asking for the variance to be 2 feet, in actuality, right now, the house is over the property line. A foot.
Really?
Yeah, so we actually are removing 3 feet from the house.
Yeah, so what they're building is outside, is not over the property line, to be clear.
Yeah,
They're cutting off half
Yeah.
that portion of the house?
yes. We
And how
are,
long has the house been there?
It's old.
it's
It's
all
Old
those
County Road,
properties.
and
Old County.
I think that road used to go back there at one time, Croton Falls. I think that it looped back there, so that it's an old section, it really is.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't have an exact date, though. They're older houses, though.
So it never came up as litigious between the two neighbors?
I don't know.
All
We-
right. Okay, so you're bringing it further into conformance than what exists today.
Right,
So,
and then we are,
And the main reason you're going up basically on the
Yes.
footprint and coming back off of the
yes.
overhang.
So we increased in the total size of 800 square feet with the 2 floors now.
All right, so there's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance,
No.
right? It's a nice-looking design. Hopefully, it cleans up the existing property and house, what's there. So any questions from the board members?
Looks like a nice improvement.
Rose?
None.
You guys down here?
No questions.
Good? All right, and you said it's a family, so the family?
Mr. Mayancella owns both property, 18, which is, this is the smaller property on the edge, and then he owns 19 and 20, the bigger
All
property.
right,
in the
we're going
back.
to treat the two cases separately, but,
Yeah.
yeah, it's 2 different
Yeah.
lots, so. All right, I guess it's a welcome improvement, so. Anybody in the public wish to be heard on this application? Ma'am, you raise your hand first in the blue.
Gene, you're first. They both have blue, you said?
Well, light blue.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
State your name and address.
Jean Hopper, 12 Old County Road.
All right, you're going to be speaking as well, sir?
Yes.
Are you together?
Yes.
Okay.
My husband.
State your name.
It's David Hopper.
All right, raise your right hands. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You guys, you can move down to the other microphone, ma'am, if you're both going to speak, and just speak clearly into the mic.
So, hi. It's the property uphill of us that we're talking about to the east. It's one deed, right? It's about 3.5 acres. So when they say property, it's one property with 3 homes on one deed. And I missed the first part that you said, what's over the property line? Which house?
18.
18.
18's over the property.
Is over
That's
the
what we're
property
technically
line.
listening
So
to
when
right
we,
now is 18.
that's the other question
wall
I
is
have.
off the
I'm never,
property
I'm
line.
never sure about which house is what number, because it's always been
Right side.
18, 19.
This is two
The one
parcels.
closest to Croton Falls Road,
Yes.
that's,
No, this
Drive
is-
up, right side.
Hold on.
you drive up, right side.
Asphalt driveway, it's close to the driveway.
Right, the house on the left, I
And
believe, is
the,
19, because they're odd numbers. The house on the right, they're even numbers.
Right.
So it's 19,
I'm gonna
18.
look at what Silvio has. I just, 'cause I wanna-
19's on its own lot, though. 19 is on its own lot.
So you're saying this is?
Yes,
Okay, she said it was one lot. I just want to be clear, it's two.
it is broken up with the road.
I just want to be clear.
I got it.
That one's 19, the big white one, right?
This is
The big
18.
one,
Yeah, I'll show her the picture that was.
The small one.
What's the third house? What's the brown house? What number is that?
20. But 20 doesn't have a case in front of us, Gene, only 18.
Right, no, I understand.
Is 20 part of the deed?
But it's on the same lot.
The house itself doesn't, but that property with 1820 does have an application here.
Oh, 1820 are the same lot.
There's,
The same lot.
no.
Oh.
Yes, 1820 are on the same lot.
18.
The
But
one
18
across,
and
that
19.
little piece.
It's all one lot.
18 has two houses on it. There's a house on the right, and it goes up, and there's a brown house in the back. That's the second house.
You're saying that's 20.
And what's that thing that's falling down, that structure that's,
Well, that was
It's an
old-
eyesore.
it's
that was-
dangerous too?
Yes, that was an old chicken coop that they have on the plans that said it was the existing garage, which is not true.
It was never a garage.
It looks very dangerous, especially with
It's
young
ready to
children.
fall
It
over.
is,
Well, they
yeah.
actually started that they actually started that with no permits. They actually poured a concrete slab, they started framing.
Okay.
I called,
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, that's,
So the number one concern is, since they're uphill, is the water and well usage. You know, I don't know how big they're talking and how many other bathrooms and well and how many septic fields there are there.
they'd have to get Board of Health approval if it's gonna be beyond what's existing bedroom count now, so.
Right, so
Yeah, that goes.
what is the zoning right now in that area? Is it 3 acres still?
I don't know offhand, Mike,
What does it say in the application, LDR?
or Ed.
This is LDR.
Yes, 3 acre.
Okay, so it's 3.5 acres with 3 houses, so it's a little tricky, right? Because it's one deed, 3 buildings.
No, it's two different lots.
Oh, okay, all right. So the septic, we've noticed problems already that we can notice on a warm night after rain, the smell of the septics. There has been work done there, I'm not really sure if that's up to code as well. It's a one,
Putnam County Department of Health.
Yeah.
Anytime you smell something, call them, they will come out and investigate. They do a dye test or whatever, and they'll check and see what's happening.
okay. The road traffic, it's a one-lane road. Again, it's very old property, and I'm just concerned about increased traffic. One lane.
Okay, well, they're existing now. these
Yes,
houses, so
has been
they're
that
the
way
Same bedroom.
since
count,
whenever.
As far as I can tell.
Right. He does have a commercial business. He does have commercial vehicles that go up and down. The garage that you talked about, the shed or whatever they were building, I believe was built without a permit, and it's now collapsing. Was a chicken coop, was never a garage.
That's on
I
the
have
next application.
Photos to show that.
But when they did the survey, just so you understand, it is existing. Doesn't mean it's pre-existing.
Right.
It's existing when they did the survey. That's all they're saying. They're not implying that it's
I
legally
understand.
there. Okay, I want to make
I
sure.
got
that
it,
you
Mike.
don't
No,
think that
you're
it's-
right, Mike, absolutely. Drainage, so when they did the construction on their driveway and they installed stone walls and all kinds of stuff, he raised his grade about 18 to 24 inches. We don't know where that fill came from. It caused, problems for us, because again, it's uphill, so now his grade was here, and now it's here, and we had a lot of muddy water when they were doing the construction. With the grass that's now been planted, it's a little bit better, so we're grateful for that. But he did have drainage coming off of his retaining wall. We're right next door, and it came right to our property. I hope that's changed. We've reached out to Manuel many times. When they first moved in, we introduced ourselves, wanted to be friendly neighbors. They built a huge fence. We had problems with that because it was higher than it's supposed to be. And we did call the code enforcer. Excuse me. He kind of just said, yeah, no, Manuel knows what he's doing better than I do, and so it's okay. I don't know. Multifamily, I don't know if
Code
there's...
enforcer's right there, so.
It would have been Dennis, but.
Oh, Dennis?
It was Dennis, yeah, it was Dennis.
I'll take a look at what.
I didn't want to say names.
We know who it is.
We know the code enforcers.
Multifamily. I know that, they can have rental properties within their property. The big house, which you're now considering doubling, is multifamily right now. There are, I think, 2 or 3 apartments in that property. It's always been like that. The McCullums own that property, and they rented it 30, 40 years ago. So that would have to change. I don't know. I saw some blueprints that showed like a home with a big master suite. Are they going to change that? Will there no longer be multifamily? The size of that structure, I guess you're saying that's number 18, the big white house. Am I correct?
19.
19. Big white house, I'm going to put.
All right.
It's a big house to begin with. It's 3 apartments, small apartments in there now. and they're doubling the size. What is that square footage going to be on that when they're done, on that big white house?
Well, that's a question for the architect, if you want to answer that, we'll. Just use the microphone.
Yeah.
You can take it off.
Yeah. Number 19 is going to be about 4,800 square feet, but there is a two-family, or that's what he wants to use it as, a two-family. But number
Well, it's
18,
existing as a two-family now.
yes, and we're going to keep it as a two-family. Number 18, the case that we are reviewing right now, is one family.
Right. So again, they won't, the Board of Health, with the increase, they, after this process, they'd have to
Right.
go, actually, they don't have to go to the planning board, do they?
They're,
Yeah, so,
Are they planning?
No.
no,
No problem.
no.
No, it's a straight.
but they would have to go to the Board of Health. to
Right,
get
okay,
approval.
Well, they come to me next, I write down what's legally there.
Right.
They take their plans over there, if they have to. If it's a three-bedroom and it's a three-bedroom, they don't go
Right.
anywhere, they just come to me.
Right, because it's just 3 bedrooms.
But if their septic's failing and you call it in, they will go investigate and see if there's a failure.
Right.
It's been changed 3 times already.
Yeah, it's been, a lot of work has been done on
I
that.
understand, but I don't have jurisdiction on the septic.
No,
so
I understand.
Health Department's the one that you would want to.
Board of Health.
I mean, they did have oil tank removals. I don't know if that was permitted, installation. We saw the construction being done. I guess my biggest concern, our biggest concern, and the neighborhood's biggest concern is that it's a small little off Croton Falls Road, private road, small, old houses, historic, and to have construction like this, a 4,800 square foot home is just not in keeping with the neighborhood and not the history of that property. The McCullums were there for, I don't know, 100 years maybe, so just something to consider. So we're concerned about going forward if they haven't maintained the property with the septic and the drainage and the grade and getting permits. We're just very carefully watching what happens next.
Understood.
Thanks.
Are a lot of these variances consistent with what already exists? Is that why you have these variances? So you're not expanding on the nonconformity. It's
Yeah, you have an existing
Again, all our
footprint.
what we're proposing does not increase or make any of the variances of the pre-existing conditions worse, which is, and actually the one where we are
little
over the
better.
property line, we actually gone to great pains
to reduce it.
to reduce it.
Yeah, because it's going from negative whatever.
Right.
Yes, negative. I was wondering how to present that. Yeah, I guess it's
No,
a
it's
negative 1
technically
point. Yeah.
zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, what, because you're not on your property anymore.
The garage would be new, obviously.
Right.
So that back garage that was built without a permit, that's something that they're causing, not you personally. They built it and they built it too close to the property line.
Yeah. Okay.
So on that garage, as Mike said, this garage,
That's the next case, though.
Okay.
Let's bring that up on the next one.
I'm just concerned with this whole project from, we just got this a week ago, and I was actually surprised on the additions going up in this. They're actually doubling the house. This is like my wife said, a country lane, 1 lane, small houses. These things are massive now. They're ridiculous looking. He's done so much work on this property. These guys been up there with no permits. Water's going different directions, gravel's going down the street, they changed the grade, we don't even know where the soil came from.
All right, so if that happens in the process, you have the right to call the building department and complain about it, and they'll investigate.
I've done that as soon
sure.
as he moved in, as soon as he put his shovel in the ground. They're aware of it, but now this is the new part, which I'm shocked that this is massive construction.
All right, is it the same owner who's owned the
Yes.
property? It's okay.
Now,
I would just say, put them on warning. There's a new sheriff in town here too, so,
the zoning,
all due respect,
we,
Mike.
this, I believe, is a 3-acre zoning, and you're doubling the houses. You're doubling the traffic on a 1 lane.
Again, it's the bedroom count, right? So.
What was that? I can't hear you.
The bedroom count. If you have 3 bedrooms that are 10 square feet, then 3 bedrooms that are 50 square
The
feet.
square foot is doubling on both houses.
Right, so the concern is for septic, right, and.
Everything.
And water use. It's gonna be the
You know,
same amount of people in the house.
Is this a rental area also? I mean, these are single-family homes. Now it's gonna be like,
Yeah, but that's not the purview of
Yeah,
this board.
you know.
All we care about honestly, and that's what the law prescribes for us, Dave, is how far close to the road it can be or not be, or to the property line it can be or not be. That's really.
Are they gonna do a traffic study on the one lane? We already have issues now that we have to wait.
Yeah, but that's not what we do. That's all I'm saying, Dave.
This is new, you gotta understand that.
I
This,
get it, I get
this
it.
is new for
I
us,
get it.
especially when you get this in the mail and you go, oh my God, look at the size of these
No, I
homes.
know.
Yeah, I get you.
I know.
But think about it, if you wanted to do something to your house, you'd have the right to do what you wanted to do to your house,
And if you
right?
didn't need
And that's
variances, you
what
could do whatever
this-
you want.
But I'm not building a
Owners do.
house to rent it to tenants that we don't know who they're gonna belong to. And that's another issue. My wife's gonna be mad for me for saying this. I've been there for 30 years. In the last 5 years, there's been rentals there. I can't tell you, 2 o'clock in the morning, the cops are running up the street, making arrests. I don't want that to happen no more.
All right.
And the other thing is,
We can't
the owner
control
that owns the property is a construction business, okay? He's got pickup trucks, flatbeds coming up with dozers, bobcats, dumpsters, parking them on the lawn. This is not a construction site. This cannot happen. The trucks are labeled
So
with,
That's what the police department is for. If you have that, commercial property, vehicles
Yeah, you
on
can't
commercial,
store
on
a
residential,
vehicle on
you gotta call the police department. That's a police matter. So now you're getting to a point where this is going beyond
I just want
what's
to paint
within
the
our
picture.
purview,
The
okay?
reason why I want to paint the picture now, because
We got the picture.
I did paint the picture 6 months ago to the board. Now this is coming to light.
To what board?
This board.
No, this is the first time.
This is a zoning board.
Well,
Zoning board.
You gotta go planning.
No, we had to go to him.
So you mean
So I'll
the
just,
building
I just want to
department?
add one thing, though, about the commercial vehicles. So the big garage that they're planning on building, our concern was to have, if he would be parking commercial vehicles there and running
Yeah,
a
and
commercial
he
business
can't.
out of it.
He can't, and if he
Okay.
does,
Okay.
that's
You're
what we
allowed
call-
to park
Just want
one
that on the
commercial
record as
vehicle on
well.
your property. It has to meet a certain threshold.
Right.
But you are allowed to park a commercial vehicle, like you could or I could. Anybody's allowed one.
Like a landscaper business, you're allowed
It
one.
has to meet a threshold. That's what it comes to.
What did you say, a landscaping business?
Like if you had a landscaping business, you'd be allowed to park one landscaping
Right.
truck or,
Well, there's a lot more
craft
than one.
body.
Okay, thank you.
Well, when going to the garage, I know it's not there yet, but this garage is like a warehouse already. That's the size of it, to put commercial vehicles in it. So I don't want to keep going with this until it gets the end,
All right, again,
before it
that's
gets
the
too
next
late.
case, so we'll let you come back up on the next case.
Okay.
Keep it within, in properties here, so.
All right.
All right? Ma'am, you wanted to be heard on this application? Make sure you guys write your name and address and
You want
and
to see which
contact
one it
info.
was?
Okay.
It's,
Hi, my name is Fatima Skornjan, and I'm the neighbor.
What's your address?
47 Odessa Road.
All right, raise
Sorry,
your
I'm
right
not
hand.
good in speaking in public.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so when I got this notice, I didn't understand
Ma'am,
what that
just speak
was.
into the mic so it's
Sure.
being recorded for minutes.
Okay. When I got this notice, I didn't know what it exactly was about, but now that you guys are talking, I see that he wants to make an addition to a home. And I know he has a couple of homes in the front of a property. I'm more to the side back. My concern is the garage that he wants to set up.
That's the next case.
So that's next one.
Okay. No,
Then
next
I'll be
case.
back.
Next case. No,
don't
it's,
move.
it's,
Just
stay
stay
here.
right there.
I'll stay right here.
There's two different applications here
Okay.
by the same owner,
Okay.
all right?
So.
We'll
do I-
wait until,
Yeah,
that's all you
go
have,
sit down.
that's all you have on this particular parcel?
I have nothing for the house. They would know better because they're more like front and center with them, so they would be more
Yeah.
to talk
Okay.
to. But me, I'm more concerned with the garage
All right,
part.
so we'll take that on the next one.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, anybody else in the public wish to speak on this application? I hope you're not getting up.
no, they want to hear their approval.
All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing on this application.
So moved.
Second by Julie.
Rose got the-
Rose, okay.
And
All in
Julie got
favor?
the second. Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now, application number 8.
Everybody's sworn, they're not swearing again.
Yeah. Same owner, Manuel Maincella, my tie-in's coming out, sorry, for a variation of section 156-9, seeking a variance for permission to construct proposed addition / alteration to existing two-family residence and garage. The property is located at 19 Old Country Road, Mahopac, New York. It's tax map 76.6-1-10. The code requires or allows front porch to be 40 feet. What's provided is 2.83 feet, so a variance of 37.17 feet is being sought. And the side setback for the garage is, the code requires 20 feet. What's provided is 17.75 feet, so a variance of 2.25 feet is being sought. All right, you're all sworn in already, so bring us through this one.
Yes, this is the same, we are remodeling the house that is up the front, closer to the front property line. And again, we're not increasing none of the nonconformities. The addition, conforms with the setbacks. And also I want to point out that this property is almost 160,000 square feet. So it is almost 4 acres.
It can't comply with this setback.
Huh?
It says you need 2.83 variance on the front porch for the addition.
No, I'm saying the addition, the front.
The building addition.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
building addition, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Garage is separate.
Yeah. And also, yes, and we have the garage, or wherever the structure was being used before, the intent now is to be used as a garage. And it will require 2 feet, 0.25 for the setback.
All right, so again, there's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance, right? The adjacent properties are all landlocked,
Right.
right? And again, this is going up on an existing footprint, hence the need for the variance, correct?
Well, the front deck, I don't think is an existing footprint. I think that's a bump out.
So I'm seeing on this one, the upstairs, I believe, has extra bathrooms than what's there now.
But we
so
are
you're
not,
gonna need
we
more
added a
approvals for
bathroom
that,
because it's
right?
gonna be a master suite.
Incorrect.
It's
but we
based
n-
on bedroom?
Bedrooms, not
Yeah,
bathrooms.
we're not increasing the number of bedrooms. Again, he's enlarging
And
the
is the right
house.
side gonna be slab?
I'm sorry?
Is the right side gonna be slab, or are you doing a basement there? Are you
It's slab.
slab?
Right, yeah.
All right, go ahead. All right, so, board members, any questions on this one? Now, the garage was started already,
Seems that way.
This is how, yes.
and this guy's in the construction business, Mr. Mainsella?
Yes.
So he
it's
did not
a-
know he needed a permit and variance here?
I'm not sure when, at which point they started the work, or how much of there was any work done before they bought the property. But I know that,
No, they bought it, they were out there. I went out there personally one of the times and told them to stop doing all that stuff back there, and that was, I mean, it's gotta be 2 years almost. And they're
Right.
finally here now, straightening it out. I guess Dennis probably took him to court,
Mhm.
and that's how we got it in here, so. It was a long process getting it here.
Just on the garage aspect, not the...
No, it was the garage, yes, the garage was the start of it. That's, when they got the architect to do the garage, that's when they did the other additions, and they said, we'll propose everything at the same time and go for all the variances.
yeah, they both, right, they moved in, and then when they got the stop work order, they came to us, and that's when we started looking at all the different buildings, and we said, might as well.
Well, I have a mind to tell them to bring this back into conformance, to start this work and not, go through the realms or the process here, especially knowing the business. I mean, I find that a little crazy here. But what do the board members think? You tell me.
No, I agree. I mean, that's especially, like you said, disturbing, concerning.
Yeah, the garage I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
The garage is 50 by 20. That's very big. And the garage doors, I assume, are oversized doors.
Yeah.
This isn't a residential garage by any stretch.
No, no.
A 50 by 20 is not a residential garage.
The garage is 15 feet high.
Proposed garage, 50 by 20.
Where do you have that, Rose?
Am I reading this wrong, Tom?
I can't.
It's got an 18-foot wide garage door.
That's what I'm talking about, these drawings. I can't read it.
50
Site
by
plans?
20.
50 by 20 garage.
20 and a half, actually.
Yeah, look at it, it's huge.
Huge.
It's massive.
20 and a half.
Where do you see 50 feet? Where's 50
What?
feet?
No, she's talking about the size of the garage
Size
itself,
Size,
the
look at it,
footprint.
you can see it in the picture, it's massive.
It's 50 by 20 and a half.
Well, let's not get hung up on that,
Yeah,
though,
but
because
let's
if they
not-
move it
yeah,
over
it's-
2.25 feet, they don't need a variance, so.
Right.
Which,
I'm not saying,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
if they move it 2.25 feet over to the left,
don't need a
Right.
they
then
don't need a
won't need
variance,
it.
they won't be here, so, I mean,
Yeah, so
again, I'm not telling you.
that's the direction I'm going in, and that's why I asked you
Correct.
guys' opinion.
But
You know?
the size isn't what we.
yeah, you're right, you're right.
And,
The height?
yeah,
And he's
Dimension.
meeting
20
the height.
feet.
and, yeah, and I think at this point,
Normal.
if we move
What's the
the,
length of
on
this thing?
18, we move the house 2 feet
Where do
in
you
order to
see 50
comply.
feet?
I think I
I'm
will
sorry, say
suggest-
that again?
If we had the client move the house 2 feet and 18, I will go back to them and tell them to comply with the setbacks on this, on the garage.
Ma'am, you can't, wait till you call up.
But I think he meant garage.
Yes, I'm in the garage.
What he said is the front house that's out by the road that's 2 feet or a foot over the property line, they're pulling it back 2 feet.
But that was in the other case.
Correct,
No, no,
but
but
he's
I'm
saying, since he talked him into that,
Right.
he thinks that it'll be no problem talking him into moving the
Yeah, all right.
garage also.
I'm sorry, your
Actually, I
accent's
might
a
as
Yeah,
well-
no,
little
it's
He might as well
difficult.
move that too, then he won't need a variance.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Yep.
That's what I'm
I think we're all in
saying.
agreement,
Yeah.
Rose.
What about that structure? I think I sent both of you, Mike and Ed.
I think that's the actual garage that was parked over.
It slants.
It's leaning, yeah.
It's leaning, there are little kids around.
I couldn't tell where the picture was.
Looking at that picture, I'm thinking it's the garage.
But,
Was it behind the house?
yeah, it's behind the house. But how- No, not far from the little, not far from it. You couldn't tell that there was, it's leaning. Behind the little house, behind the little brown house, all the way at the end of the property.
That is the garage.
No, we have a picture. I just don't know which house it is on the site plan.
Okay. Towards the back of the property.
That is the garage. That's the only one.
Okay.
That garage is way back.
Look at how this is leaning. This is all leaning. Let me put the other one.
Is that on top, was that on a porch or something, or was that in the backyard?
It's in the backyard. Look at that.
So on the site
Structure
plan,
is-
where is that garage? Because it's so small, I can barely see this. It's right,
But there's little kids
Show,
playing.
show Mike on the site plan.
thank you.
The site plan you can't read.
The site plan-
Can't see it. So the length, the 50-foot length is encroaching
These drawings.
into the variance. So that's easy to cut off. You just shorten it up.
Can't read it. You can't read it.
I mean, that's a simple one. You know, John?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
The rear of the garage, this would encroach the 2 point,
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's gonna,
75 feet.
he's
So
gonna
you
cut
just
it
pull
back.
that back.
He's gonna cut it back 3 feet
Yeah.
to conform.
2.83 feet.
What's up?
You know,
With too much crosstalk.
All right, does that make sense? Rose, we can condition
yeah,
the
47.
removal of that unsafe condition, right?
You can condition it that you don't grant the variance, then they have to move it to 2.25 feet.
No, I'm talking about what she's talking about, the structure that, okay. Oh, that's this garage?
That's-
That's the garage that they partially framed. We issued the stop work.
And it's been sitting there ever since.
So it's
that right?
collapsing now?
Yeah.
Because it just sits in the weather and it gets a beating from the weather.
So it's collapsing.
Okay.
When they got the cease and desist, probably.
Could there be some sort of condition on everything else to either finish it or remove it?
But deny it, then they have to move it or remove it. If they put it to the 2.25 feet over, they don't need variance, so they can't.
No, they have the, if the footing's there already and the slab, they're gonna have to bring everything back.
the 3 feet.
Into compliance, they can do that. They're allowed.
Okay. So we can either deny that portion of this variance, or give them a number to pull it back to.
But the front porch would remain. There's,
Well, look, while
because
we're
that's
at
only
it,
2.83.
while we're at it, if there's room to pull that back,
Yeah, let's
our
put that
job is to
down.
grant the minimal possible. That makes sense. Right? On the right one?
So deny the garage.
And then have them amend the application and pull back the front porch.
Yeah, I mean, the front porch does not need to be the extreme. You got a whole
Yeah.
other side of it that you can
Right.
have your viewable. In fact, take the front porch out completely. Move these steps back here and have the front porch go in line with the house, or a little wraparound.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? Don't even give them a variance on either thing?
Well, minimize the variance, deny the garage and minimize the variance on the front porch overhang.
What size is the porch?
I'm trying to tell, but I can't.
You can't read?
The site plan is very difficult to read here.
It's even the architectural.
Can you show me the front porch on here?
How big?
It's about 8 feet.
So if you cut it to 6, it'd be 4.83 feet. Cut it to 4, it'll be 6.83 feet.
Yeah. That's at least a little better, because it's pretty excessive. Yep, I like
Yeah,
that.
it's almost a, 100% variance here.
Right,
90% plus.
right.
Yep.
Understood, but if you cut the porch back to whatever we just said, the 4 feet instead of 8 feet, then you would have 6.83 feet to the property line.
I don't know what that dimension is. What's the dimension of the overhang of the porch?
8 feet.
8 feet.
8 feet?
Yes. That's what you just said?
Yes. I think 6 feet will be a workable. I mean, it is existing right now as a pre-existing condition, but if we can cut it back 2 feet, it's still usable.
Could you show me that front porch on this site plan for a second? Just tell me where that is. Is that the first piece right there? Right there. Okay.
Trying to see if I can find dimensions.
So he gives me 2.83 feet there.
Why did we get such small drawings that we can't even read? Yeah, well,
No, we have architectural drawings that
We need
kind of hard to read, too.
full architectural drawings. This is too small. Nope.
They don't get them that size, so
No.
from now on, we're gonna make sure that everybody gets everything in the right size.
Yeah.
can't read it.
All right, so everyone's on board with pulling the porch back?
Yes.
Well, we'll talk about that in adjudication.
Yeah, but
All right, any more comments or questions from the board members on this application?
No.
All right, anybody in the public wish to speak?
let her go first.
Ma'am?
You talk to her, let her talk.
Just so you know, they're gonna deny that garage, so the garage is going,
The garage is going.
it's
And
gonna,
what-
Well,
And what will the front porch be?
We're gonna pull it back.
worried about the garage.
All right.
That's all she can see from her house.
I wanted to say, my concern, I'm sorry.
They're over almost 3 feet, right, of where it's allowed. So
Okay.
we're going to deny, it sounds like we're going to deny that portion of this application. So they'll have to move it to come into conformance. He can either lop off that 3 feet and keep it inboard, or he can just move the whole thing together, whatever he decides to do. We're denying it, it sounds like.
but once it goes back to 3 feet, just so you understand, he could still build it that looks
To
the way
that
it
point.
does.
Okay.
It just doesn't need a variance anymore.
Well, my question is this, because my well is right next door. First of all, I'm for people beautifying their home and their property. God bless. However, because my well is literally like a few feet away, if they build anything septic-wise, like, I don't know if they're just building a structure, or are they putting water, septic, are they putting anything in that garage?
No, that's,
You know how garages have-
no, there'll be no
No
plumbing.
plumbing.
The plan showed a garage with nothing in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally a garage.
Just for vehicle storage, tool storage, right, typical
Okay.
garage.
That's all I have. Thank you very much. Oh, I'll fill this
Thank
out.
Dave?
Guys?
On the garage again.
Yep.
I'm really concerned that he's a construction guy. He has a lot of equipment. I think he's building this garage to put all his construction equipment in there with diesel fuel and chemicals and everything else. He already has a 3-car garage in front of the house. It's already packed with building materials, concrete, bags of concrete, salt, buckets, paint. I don't want this to be a warehouse and a storage facility for commercial, bobcats and everything else. That's why that door is so big and that building is so big.
That's conjecture at this point. I don't know that that's what's going in there. And you can speak for the client. I don't know if they're giving you permission to, if that's his intention. We don't know that. I don't know that. You don't know that. So if and when it does happen and you see it happening, you call the building department.
And Dave, just so you're aware, if he pulls it back 3 feet, it's never coming here again, because then it's legal, just so you know.
So you're telling me it's legal to him to put his construction vehicles in the garage?
No.
The variance.
From
They're
the
just in front of us for the
variance
variance. That's
standpoint.
it.
Right.
That's all within our purview.
Say it again?
That's it.
So what we deal with, David, is setbacks, right? How close to the property line is.
Right.
Once he goes back 3 feet, this board has no say in anything that happens in that building. It goes strictly to the building.
So
I
if
understand.
so
He can build it.
But if he puts more than one commercial vehicle or all the equipment you're talking about, whatever you were saying there, I'm not
Right.
gonna go through the whole
Bobcats,
thing.
excavators.
You call us, and we go out there, ring his bell, tell him we wanna look at it,
And
and he
they'll
said,
sign it.
and we'll go out there and take a look at that. That's an easy
Okay.
one to prove.
Just to help the homeowner out, is he aware of that?
We'll make
He
sure.
is now.
He is
He'll
now.
tell
He
his
is
client.
representative.
I want to put the horse in front of the cart, not the other way.
No, understood.
I spoke to him the other day,
Okay.
when they came in initially for the zoning application. I did speak to him, so I think he heard what I was saying, but again, I can't think for people. I can say the words to them if they hear me.
Yeah, but I just want
All
to
right.
set your expectations too. If they move it back 3 feet, it has nothing to do with
Right.
this board anymore.
They can build it.
Then it's just my department for enforcement, and at that point, we go to court and blah, 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 and then,
Is there height requirements also?
There is, but he's
He's
within
within.
them.
He's well within.
He's well within it. It's only 20 feet high.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
that's the way the code is.
Thank you. No problem.
Mike,
Anybody else wish to be heard? Please, no. Come on, you got something? All right. We're going as fast as we can. Go
just
ahead.
want to ask you on the front porch, what are we changing it to?
Do we want to condition it?
all
or
I
do we
said
want
is
to
if
come
you,
back?
if it's 2.83.
Right.
If you shrink it to 6 feet, you could get it to 4.83. If you shrink it to 4 feet, it'll be 6.83 from the property line. It's your call. You guys
How
decide.
far do you want to take it from the property line?
We could do we want to do this here, or do we want to do it?
Well, let's wait till we adjudicate.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? So I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing on this application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That's it.
At this point, there's no more input on any application this evening as we adjudicate the applications. Please. All right, so application number 1, Thomas Mercado. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Application number 2, Allison Boak. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Application number 3, Matthew Simone. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant, should we condition that there'll be no water?
We could say it, but, for a garage, sometimes you do want.
Oh, like a
water for
hose
slop
bib or
sink,
something?
You know what I mean?
You want no plumbing, you mean, like?
No plumbing.
No plumbing.
No domestic plumbing? Well, domestic plumbing would
I have a
be.
question. Why would you, 4 months ago or 6 months ago, interpret that you could put in a living room over your garage, but now you can't put plumbing in it?
We were just, that was something that was mentioned during the course of this meeting.
No, I'm just
I think
asking the
you
question.
were the one that mentioned it. Somebody mentioned plumbing.
No, I'm just asking if you're allowed to put a family room upstairs,
Right.
a man cave, whatever you want to call it, why wouldn't you want plumbing? If they go through all the process and get the permits from the health department if they need them, why would we condition that?
Yeah,
It's up to you. You're the board,
In the
but I'm
past,
just,
we used to do it all the time.
I know, but
Because
then you
we wanted to-
interpreted that
Yeah,
you
but-
could put an
Yeah, then we-
thing
yeah.
We
apartment
want to
with a
dissuade
bathroom.
apartments from being built, but,
Right.
again, you can have,
All right,
a
that's
sink,
fine.
you can have a slop sink, you can have,
It
a
was
wet
just
bar.
discussed
Yeah.
on the dais, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
I'm just saying because of the previous interpretations, I'm wondering if, why we would
All right,
think of
that's
that.
fine.
But again,
Motion to grant.
this isn't the type that's gonna have it, so it's not gonna affect him, but
All right, so you, motion to grant, no conditions, right?
I'll
No
second.
conditions.
Any discussions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Application number 4, Neil McMahon, look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second? Any
Second.
discussions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. Number 5, Savaris Family Trust. I'm looking for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second.
Any discussions on this one?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application number 6, Anthony Protillo, looking for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second.
Second by Rose. Any discussions on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Application number 7, Manuel Maincella, looking for a motion.
This is for 18 now. just so you know.
18.
What, 18?
So that's not the garage, that's the.
Yeah, motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions on this application?
This one? No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, granted. Application number 8, Manuel Maincella.
Motion to deny the front porch,
No.
Deny the garage.
garage, excuse me. Motion to deny the garage, I'm gonna do it separate. Motion to deny the garage. That's all I'm
Second.
gonna do.
Well, you can make one motion.
No, I don't want
Oh.
to confuse it.
Well, I think it's got to be one. All
Does
right,
it have to be
Greg,
one or no?
Can it be broken down?
Yeah.
All right. I lied.
Second.
So second, Rose,
Motion to deny garage. That's
Deny
it.
the garage.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then for the front porch,
Motion to grant for discussion. So that
Okay.
we can have a negotiation.
discuss.
Need a second.
Oh, do we have a second? Sorry,
Second.
you're right.
All right, so I think we definitely do want to cut this back. I agree. I'm down for 4. I don't know
Down
if
for
anybody
4?
else is, but I'm down for 4.
So you're
Provide
changing it
4 feet.
Provide.
So width of the deck is 4 feet.
6.83, and then a 33.17.
Yes. I trust your math.
33.17 variance.
Nope. Code requires 40. Yes, I'm sorry,
Right.
you are correct.
Variance.
40
And
required,
6
6.83 exists,
6.3
8.3.
provided. 8.3 provided.
683.
and then 33.17 variance.
Right.
Good?
Yep.
Should they initial that on the paper?
We gotta look for the application.
You want to put it in the other envelope or this? I'll put it in. What was it again, Joe?
76,110.
6 point,
76.
776-1.
No, 76. 76.
76.
6110.
This is it, right?
That's it. Mike, do I have to,
I'll change it and I'll have them initial it.
yeah, but do we cross out? All right.
Yep.
Here.
You'll do it.
Do your thing.
I'll have them initial it.
Yeah, do your thing.
So I'll now amend the motion. Motion to grant as amended.
Okay.
Second that motion.
Because Rose was the one that.
second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Application number 9, Entranceway Partners LLC. Look for a motion.
Motion to grant?
Well, no, it's an interpretation.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The motion to approve the interpretation
Approve
that
the
it needs to go to the
interpretation.
planning board, right? That's what we have to do?
Right, but the interpretation is that he's entitled
Okay.
to the legal lots with the prior stances.
Motion to grant the,
Planning to, memorialize however the new lots were.
right, that goes to plan. So motion to grant that that he's entitled to split the properties as prescribed by the old code.
That he can create a new building lot compliance with subdivision map.
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Second.
Any discussions on this one?
Final?
I'll look for, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Then we skipped.
10 is being held over. And final application for Carnes, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, granted. All right, minutes from March 26th, I will look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
As amended, I was
by
gonna say
Rose.
Rose did stuff.
Of course, of course. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
Motion
right,
to
minutes
adjourn.
accepted.
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, guys.